Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotally Christmas Movies. They're a ton. I'm your host, Jay Fry, and with me, as usual, is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. We're here. Let's do this.
And not chiming in before his turn. How's it going, Garrett?
Oh, it's a Monday, as Sean said. I can't complain.
Oh, now you're commenting. I just asked you a question before we started, and you were nowhere to be found. So before we get into any of the plethora of topics we have, by the way, Three Amigos, Christmas movie. It's not. Let's talk about Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation, right?
Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
A John Hughes movie.
A John Hughes written movie, not a John Hughes directed movie. And barely gave it 3 stars. Complaints? Questions? Comments?
Well, I said last week he'd give it a 2. He gave it a 3 on generosity alone.
So you called it. Basic slapstick comedy. It's nothing really special to me, but I understand why people find it endearing. It's a 3 out of 5 for me as well.
I say it's a 4 outright, and you can give it a 5 because it's a classic, and there's a lot of memes and stuff that have spawned off of that movie. It's a cultural touchstone of a movie.
Don't give me that. Cultural touchstone. If I ever thought of a movie that tapped into the zeitgeist of Americana, no.
It's Hobo with a Shotgun. But beyond that, this is a Christmas classic.
Benny and June. Okay, so Jeremiah Chekik, Canadian, by the way. He's the director, not John Hughes. Also directed Benny and June. Directed a shit ton of the Criminal Minds series with Gary Sinise Beyond Borders. And is basically most of what he does is direct TV shows. Chuck, Heart of Dixie, Burn Notice, Warehouse 13, Glades, Being Human.
13.
Leverage, fucking love Leverage. Mental. Oh, he did The Beast. That's Patrick Swayze's only foray into television. The Middleman. Oh, well, he directed The Avengers, not the good Avengers, the one that made Sean Connery quit acting. Before he got back into acting and realized that the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen ruined acting for him. Like, you know what?
I really wanted that movie to be better.
I did too. I really enjoyed the idea of it.
Yeah, me too.
Should have been the literary of Extreme Gentlemen.
It could have been way better than what it was. Well, so who did it ruin? Was it Sean Connery?
Holy shit! You watched that movie?
That movie has a special place in my heart.
Oh yeah, that's a go-to comfort movie for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like Super Mario Brothers. That atrocious movie that for some fucking reason I just can't hate.
You know what? Fuck you, John Leguizamo, by the way, for that very movie. For the last couple weeks, I've been seeing John Leguizamo come out and and bash. Last week he bashed Al Pacino for Carlito's Way, and I'm like, you played an Italian, you motherfucker. You're just as bad. So, I mean, there's movies where it's, you know, like, at no point is the ethnicity of John Leguizamo mentioned at all, or even given a fuck about. Spawn. He's not a race. He's a fucking creature. The Pest. He was just awful in every language. How come I don't understand your Chinese? I'm from South. I'm from South too. I'm from South. You're awful, John Leguizamo.
We should just refer to him as the Bean, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, but the Mexican raging bean. That's John. He's like dude, you know, start that shit at the beginning of your career, when you're dressing like a chick with Patrick Swayze and Wesley fucking Snipes, where you played a spicy Latina. And sing praises to Julie Newmar. Like you know, you don't get to have it both ways, home slice. But of course they do, because they're ethnics. God,
I don't think it's that. I think he's a mid talented hack that's trying to pull up the ladder behind him. He's pulling the Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman like they did in the comedy field. Oh, you can't make these jokes anymore. We made them and we got famous for them, but you can't make them.
I don't know about that, because there definitely were people before him. Like, my favorite is oh shit, what's his name? Yeah,
he's like, if he's Hallmark level, USA Up All Night level.
What's Chris? Oh shit, what's his name?
There are a lot of Chris's out there. You're going to have to be more specific.
Yeah, I'm having a freaking brain fart because he's not
Talented?
Bobby Sixkiller. I can't. Branscombe Richmond. No wonder I couldn't think of it. It wasn't Chris at all. Branscombe Richmond is a. I'm pretty sure he's a Native American.
It's a pretty intense name for him to not be something.
He played Bobby Sixkiller in Renegade, the TV series. I can't think of a time where he was more famous than that. He's a stuntman, who has been everywhere in all ethnicities that are of a dark skin nature, and like you slap a bandana on his head and he's a cholo.
Yeah.
He's been a terrorist before. I'm almost positive he's Native American, because he definitely he does a really good job as a Native American. He was in Hawaiian Heat, Heart of the City. I can't think of anything where he was
notable.
Well, he played a cholo in Hard to Kill. Steven Seagal. He wasn't a starring character.
He's a character actor.
Character actor, but more of a character. He's more of a stuntman that is a character
That gets some lines every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He's an extra that's a stuntman that gets some lines every now and then.
My
It's got a
favorite
SAG
is
card and it's just there.
Yeah, Gene LaBelle is my favorite. Gene LaBelle is like the great grand master, most highest honored of all time. He's a judo guy, and he's like one of the highest ranking judo guys in the world. And he got to be there because he's been doing judo for 50 years. So the guy was like 61. He starts. Well, no, he was in acting in the 70s. But every time you needed someone thrown and to land 7 feet below, like where they started, so like an actual like a hard fall, you cast Gene LaBelle. Because the first thing you learn in judo before you ever throw a punch at somebody is landings. And he is the master of landing on hard ground. So he so you would just see him and he would just be a dick for like one, like he'd have a line where he's dickish and he gets thrown through a window or he gets thrown over a bar top. But he was everywhere. And he's probably got, let's look him up under IMDb. He's got to have a couple of hundred. He's probably, okay, I'll say he's got 300 jobs, and less than a dozen will have a name attached to him. He'll be like henchman number 17.
$156 credits.
Oh, half that, really?
Yeah.
That sucks. But was I right about the names?
What do you mean?
Old
Well,
henchman.
it
Henchman
doesn't
number
say.
2.
It's just because of the new interface for IMDb. It's just a list of the productions. It doesn't.
No, 252 stunts. So I was a lot closer.
Let's see here. Stunts 252. Actor 156.
Yeah, but he still has to. Head biker, angry neighbor, elderly worker, attendant,
God, I hate this new freaking interface.
referee, old stuntman. 5 episodes of Reno 911. He played grandpa, old man in a motorized wheelchair. He falls from shit. Gambling patron.
There we go.
Driving instructor, referee, passenger, veteran with a gun, henchman.
Foxy Jackson, referee.
Yeah.
Henchman, Wallace, Brutus, NYC bouncer, security guard, proprietor, security guard, thug one.
Like I said, like he will have that many. Like he's just a random fucking dude, thug in an episode of Walker Texas Ranger. But then he's got stupid shit like Ed Wood. He was a ring announcer. He's probably still got hit with something. Man, this is like probably
Biker goon.
Yeah, it's the way he's
Motorcycle cop.
Yeah, like Kane Hodder's in a lot of stuff just to get because he's a good stuntman and he's got presence. He's did you see Get Shorty? Or no, wait, Be Cool? No, it's Get Shorty with who
He
the
was
fuck
in
is
The Jerk.
Yeah. Sopranos? Who played Tony? Whoever that guy was, the guy who played Tony Soprano in The Sopranos. He was a stuntman in either one of those fucking movies. I don't know. They're the same movie, really. I think it was Get Shorty. I think Be Cool had The Rock.
He was in Blue Hawaii with Elvis.
Well, I said the man's old. Did he have a character name?
No, it just says uncredited.
Yeah, Elvis probably threw him through a window.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet from 1961. It's his first credit.
The man's old. And he still takes a hell of a wallop. Like, what was his most recent thing?
His most recent thing? Hang on.
2018. Fury of the Fist of the Golden Fleece. God, that sounds terrible.
The Chinese Boss.
Yeah. So from 1961 to 2018. That's well over 50 years.
Wow, this looks terrible.
I didn't say they were good.
But it's got Danny Trejo in it.
Danny Trejo's he's a little fella.
All right, little tiny guy.
He probably got thrown through a window by Bruce Lee. He's in the Green Hornet.
Lister Jr.
Tiny Lister Jr.?
No, it's Tom Lister Jr. It's one of his relatives because Tiny died. Isn't Tiny dead?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure Tiny's dead. Thought he died a couple of years back.
Tommy Lister Jr. is his name.
Oh, so I guess this is Tiny. Excuse me, Tiny then.
Well,
Ron
he died.
Jeremy. My God, Ron Jeremy's in this movie.
He died in 2020. What movie are you talking about?
That last one from Gene LaBelle, the Fury of the Fist and the Golden Fleece.
Oh yeah, that sounded atrocious.
It's got Goldberg in it.
Well, so does there's a pretty good cast for The Longest Yard. My pads keep rubbing on my nipples.
How's your summer, sir?
I assume you're talking to me?
Well, it's summer there. It certainly isn't
It is.
summer here.
Well, it's hot as hell at the moment, so...
This is actually a quality cast. Richard Grieco, Jason Landon,
Oh my God, I didn't even see Grieco in there.
James Jones, Sean Whalen, Ernie Reyes Jr.
Awesome. I got here late. I have no idea what we're talking about, but sure.
We're talking about
You-
a really... It
you wouldn't
looks
know anyway.
terrible.
Oh, Jason and Jeremy London. So it's got the twin London brothers. One's playing Lightning Leg, and the other's playing Superfoot. Michael Dudikoff, Michael Winslow,
Where are you sitting?
Don the Dragon Wilson, Ty Mack. You know Ty Mack.
Mm-hmm.
They're going through a cast of what is it?
It's a was this 2018 movie called Fury of the Fist and the Golden Fleece.
It's got Jean-Claude Van Damme's daughter, Bianca Brigitte Van Damme.
It almost looks like this is Kung
This
Fury
is good.
level bad.
Victor
Intentionally.
Ortiz, Alexander Wraith, Don Fry, Simon Ray.
Don Fry?
Half the cast could kick the ass of any bar in America.
Okay. I'm gonna hunt this one down because this is going on the watch list.
There are some quality fight. Keegan Machado, Patrick Durham. These C.T. Fletcher playing Mr. T. This cast could fight a war and win. And it's got a white guy playing the Chinese boss. Yeah, there's at least 6. All right, for sure, 5 UFC champions, a welterweight kickboxing world champion in both the male, and I don't know what Cynthia Rothrock's weight class was, but a female kickboxing champion, as well as.
Let me give you the stinger for the movie. Okay. Here's the storyline of this movie. The biggest porn star of the 1970s must reclaim his mojo in the 80s by saving all male kind, fighting his way to the heart of a conspiracy to sell meat pumped full of estrogen to emasculate men.
Well, Ron Jeremy is playing Self.
I have got to hunt this thing down. This might be the best movie ever.
Streaming on Prime Video, and you can rent it on Apple TV.
It's got Sam Jones playing Flash, man with the golden fleece. Richard Grieco playing the Albanian. Danny Trejo's name in the film is Nino Grande. Big boy.
So the reason I wanted to bring on Dangerous Spaces, besides the fact that he actually answered my message,
Oh, thanks. I feel special. He said he
Well-
would. Why not? Eh.
I did message you first, to be fair, and you never answered. Is to just have him talk about his opportunity to pick the list for Matt's viewing pleasure. Basically,
Yeah.
why he picked what he picked and all that good stuff, and to talk about Tropic Thunder because he got picked.
No.
Well, before we get there, Dangerous, we need to know what your take of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation
Yeah.
was.
We do need to find that out.
And
Yeah.
then, what's your favorite St. Patrick's Day movie?
I don't know. Does technically any of the Leprechaun movies count?
You're racist. We'll get to that in a minute, though, because I had to look him up, and it was utterly racism just across the board.
Yeah. I would assume they all would be. But hang on, the Irish are white. I thought we couldn't be racist against white people.
The Irish aren't
No.
white. Come on, we have a rich history in this country of putting them in with all the other undesirables.
Sorry, was there a legitimate question there? Or we asked about St. Patrick's Day. I
Well,
don't know.
no,
No,
the legitimate question is about National Lampoon's Christmas.
Oh,
Vacation.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I think it's better than probably what Matt kind of, suggested it was. I don't know if it's as great as what everyone else seems to think. I think that one's all right. I've seen a few of the vacation movies, and they always strike me as entertaining enough. I don't know if they're anything all that special necessarily.
He just hit both my points and the arguments against Tremors. He just don't go like, no, it should have been better.
Sorry, I hit both the points, or Matt did.
No, you did.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the Tremors movie. It's a go-to movie for me. It's one of my favorites and an enjoyable romp, if you will. And I like creature features. And it was one of the first movies he did, and just shat all over it.
It was the first movie he
I think
did.
it was the
Yeah,
first
it
movie
was.
he did.
It was. And then it started out with, let's just kick Jay Fry in the teeth. It was.
I think
Yeah.
it might have been a 1 out of 5 if I remember correctly.
It was a
No,
2.
I think it was a 2.
It was a 2. It should have been revamped to at least a 3. But you know what? Fuck everybody. It's a great movie.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't really mind Matt's takes. I love how everyone goes crazy over them and stuff like that. But I think the problem is he approaches them a little too analytically, and it's just like, look, sometimes a movie's just a movie. It's just for sitting down and having fun. And fair enough if you think it's really, really, really stupid, and you go, well, I don't like it because it's really, really, really stupid. But there's got to be a balance of, you don't have to expect Shakespeare or Citizen Kane every time, but you also need to appreciate when something is just a fun movie and you're not necessarily looking for anything deeper in it.
Well, I don't want Shakespeare or Citizen. First off, I really enjoy the remakes they've made recently of Shakespeare with the modern takes, like the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, and goddamn John Leguizamo again.
Yeah,
And
Claire Danes.
Hamlet. Yeah, Claire Danes. Yeah. I've enjoyed those movies, but I would much rather sit back and watch Death at Bloodfart Lake Part 4, and there is no parts 1 through 3. It starts out as Death at Bloodfart Lake 4. I think that's what it is. I might be mixing 2 different movies together, but Bloodfart Lake is definitely a movie. But they're.
You know what, guys? Just give me 30 seconds. I just got home. I've got some cold stuff I need to put in the fridge. So
Yeah,
Sure. well, I'll save the explanation of the racism that was my search through.
That was hilarious.
What's the fucking? I'm gonna Google it again real quick just so I can list them off.
So
Legitimate
it,
pulled up on the website or on Google or something.
I googled St. Patrick's Day movies, and I just got back racism.
Really?
Well, what was it?
Okay.
Was it countryism, landism,
Nationalism?
ethnism, holidayism? It was well. All right. So, can you think of a St. Patrick's Day movie? Actually, you know what? St. Patrick's Day 3. Or St. Oh my God, that was racist. Leprechaun. I think Leprechaun 3 had a leprechaun in it, like a black guy who was pretending to be a leprechaun, and he said something to the leprechaun, which is kind of funny because Warwick Davis owns a casting not a casting company, an agency.
An agency.
Yeah, for the
Wee folk.
the Lilins.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah. So when he casts a midget in a movie that he's already in, he's doubling that bank because he's not only the president, he's also a client. I don't know if you have Hair Club for Men. That joke was twice as funny in America.
Fair enough.
I
don't know if we do. We've got a couple of big companies like that, but I don't know if hair clubs over here. No.
Well, they're literal. Like, is it the tagline? Is it maybe they're?
Well, it's the guy when he started advertising it in the '80s when he developed the company. He was cheap and went in and did his own commercials. So what his tagline for the commercials was, and I'm not only the president, I'm also a client.
Yeah.
See, honestly, the only thing I know that sort of line from it, I don't think it's quite the same wording as dodgeball. Okay, apparently now it's been dodgeball.
Was that Ben
Stiller? I'm not just the owner or whatever he says. I was also a client. You'd see him like 400 pounds.
My milkshake brings all the. All right, so I googled St. Patrick's Day movies, and there's a couple of them that I've seen in here. I'm like, that's not a St. Patrick's Day movie, and I kind of just got the gist that they're just Irish movies. There's anything starring Colin Farrell, anything starring Brendan Gleeson, and then it hits at like.
Hang on, so does that mean In Bruges is a doubly St. Patrick's Day movie? Aren't they both in that?
Or The Angriest Man in Dublin or whatever that new movie is.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I know the one you're referencing. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But
is Michael Gambon Irish or no?
Who?
Michael Gambon.
I don't think so. No.
I think he's English.
Dang it.
Pretty sure he's just British. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Michael Gambon, Irish actor. No, apparently he is.
Okay, cool.
Well
then, two Irish movies I can think of because of him.
He's not on the list.
Western.
but I see Cardboard Gangsters, Far and Away.
Far and Away? What?
Oh, Tom Cruise
They were
movie?
Irish, yeah.
They were Irish, but yeah.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise were playing travelers from Ireland. And then,
hang on, are you doing it through Google? I got The Fugitive as one of the top things.
Well, what's Harrison Ford? Yeah, no, it was Google St. Patrick's Day movies. It was just a straight Google. Waking Ned Divine, Leprechaun, Boondock Saints. And I'm like, this is fucking racist.
Oh, you know why it came up? Is because of this St. Patrick's Day parade happens during that movie. That's one of the scenes. He's trying to get away from him, and he's going through the parade.
All right. By that measure, then Ferris Bueller's Day Off is also a St. Patrick's Day movie.
Is that St. Patrick's Day?
Well, Well, I don't
It
think
probably would have to be something like that because you can't.
Well, no, but he's in a parade.
Yeah, well, it'd have to be something like St. Patrick's Day though, to not have the school day off but still have a parade. But yeah, Leprechaun's Revenge,
and we know it's the second
Quiet Band.
semester, and so it's towards the end of the school year.
Yeah.
So it would have to be.
So I found a page that says St. Patrick's Day movies on Netflix. The first one is The Irishman, which I don't know, I've never watched it, so I'll just take the word for it. But the second one is The Irishman in Conversation. So basically, number one is The Irishman. Number two is a behind-the-scenes conversation about The Irishman.
This is just racist. One of them is called. Go on.
Then the rest are just Irish movies on Netflix.
One of the movies in my suggested St. Patrick's Day movies is called Leap Year.
Oh yeah, the Amy Adams one. I was seeing that too. Yeah.
So I mean, at least that takes place in February.
That also takes place in Ireland, I think. I'm pretty sure she goes over there to propose to a boyfriend. Or I think that's the movie.
Aware of a Celtic tradition. Yeah, it's got a Celtic tradition. February 29th. Burr.
That's a really weird thing. I used to go to the videos. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, would the Quiet Man count? Because it takes place in Ireland.
Hold on, let me check this to see if it's on here.
Yeah.
Intermission, Gangsters, Waking the Divine. I know it's not on here. Crying Game. The Magical Legend of the Leprechauns.
Well, yeah, Crying Game's I think about the IRA, isn't it?
Michael Collins.
Well, by that,
which is about
before transsexuals were like a major thing.
Yeah, and Michael Collins, I think, is like the Irish Revolution or something from memory.
Yeah.
By that standard, you could also include what was the Tom Clancy movie with Harrison Ford? The IRA goes after him.
Clear and Present Danger.
Clear and Present.
Or was it the other one? It's one of the Jack Ryan ones.
No, I don't think it was Clear and Present Danger. Patriot Games.
Games.
Clear and Present Danger was the one where the
guy gets abandoned in Colombia or whatever.
Yeah. I think Mexico, Colombia, whatever. It's the gangs, the drug gangs represent a clear and present danger. So yeah, that's how it's
right. To be fair, I've not seen any of those Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan movies, so I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just throwing the names out.
Irish Republican Army member Fergus, Stephen Ray, forms an unexpected bond with Jody, Forrest Whitaker, a kidnapped British soldier in the Forrest Whitaker playing a British soldier. That's gotta be interesting.
Would it be fair? Forrest Whitaker played a samurai?
A black samurai. Ghost Dog.
I was going to say Ghost Warrior. No, Ghost Warrior is a video game, I think. So.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's freaking awful. Cherry Bomb, The Shadow. This is racism. Hilarious racism, but I just finished downloading Fury of the Fist and the Golden Fleece, so I'll be watching that tomorrow at work. I might save it till next Sunday and have no, I'll have to watch it first. Can't introduce Bunny to films that haven't been checked for inappropriateness.
I can't imagine there's very many things that she can watch.
No, not with her sensibilities, unfortunately.
Did we just make it? Do we have a sex bot?
Oh yeah.
We had two.
There are a couple, yeah.
Oh really? I'm not on the YouTube. I'm on my phone right now, so it's kind of hard.
I've got the YouTube open. A couple came up, obviously. I assume Maynard. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Maynard.
Yeah.
Presumably he struck them given that he's got the wrench. Oh, okay.
He didn't show up until afterwards.
he was the sex bots.
Yeah. It's funny. We'll go many weeks without getting any, and then sometimes they'll come in right at the front like they did here, and then sometimes they don't show up till almost the very end.
Oh yeah, they're very random. There was one week, I think this was right near the start when they really started popping up on the actual Matt and Blonde show, and you just couldn't chat because it just took over pretty much the entire thing.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a week, I don't know, about a month or two ago where we all had to go ape shit in getting rid of them because there was like 6 of them that kept changing their names to like different characters. So we'd get like 4 or 5 of them, but by that time they pumped out 5 or 6 more, and we were just all going crazy there for like a half hour straight, knocking them down.
Yeah.
Maynard's talking about what movie where people got to kill a bunch of dangerous snakes or just even one giant snake. My favorite is from the Sci-Fi Channel, Piranhaconda.
Right.
It's I like the whole time. It's just girls in bikinis because it's a Sci-Fi Channel and you can't go any harder than that. But Piranhaconda is one giant snake. Vipers is a bunch of little snakes that are poisonous. But it was just
venomous.
None of them take place in Ireland. That's the problem.
Well, this is just Maynard asking about what character?
Well, I assume Piranhaconda is made by the same company. There's a company that released a whole bunch of those of hybrid animal kind of monster movies.
Sharktopus.
Yeah, that was the one I was immediately thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharktopus or what was the
Velocipaster?
No. There's all right. So the first one was Sharktopus. Then there was it was a pterodactyl mixed with a barracuda. I can't think of the name of it though. Terracuda. And then there was like Terracuda versus Whale Wolf, which is the mixture of a whale and a wolf. They just kept mixing animals together. It's like, damn it, David Carradine, stop it. I expected better from you, Lewis. You freaking rapist.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. I'm looking up for movies like Sharktopus, and one of the first ones this site lists is Godzilla vs Kong.
Well, that's a hybrid. Or no, that's a versus.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm looking at going, come on, that's an actual proper movie, you know, regardless of whether or not you like it. That's it's very different.
Not David Carradine. Which one am I thinking of?
Well, no, Eric Roberts is showing up in my first thing of searches. So
maybe it's Robert Carradine. No. Hold on a second. I'll find him. Which freaking one am I thinking of?
No clue. You want to give a bit more information?
It was in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, the lead for Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
What is his name? Bob? No.
Yeah, Robert Carradine.
Yeah.
Robert Carradine. I said David Carradine, and I realized I was wrong.
Yeah,
David Carradine.
Well, David is Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Robert is Revenge of the Nerds, and I don't think they're related.
No, they're brothers.
They're brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, there's quite the age difference there.
How old do you think he is?
Well, I know that David Carradine was doing Kung Fu in the mid-70s.
All right,
Revenge of the Nerds didn't come out till the early 80s.
Robert Carradine's 68.
Yeah, Robert Carradine is 68. David Carradine
is 72.
Yeah.
Oh, died at 72.
Yeah. There's
so he's 68. So he would be 80. He would be 80, I think. No.
Yeah. 78.
Hang on, 85.
No, 70. Yeah, 76. So there's David Carradine, Keith Carradine, Robert Carradine, Bruce Carradine, and Christopher Carradine. They're all brothers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mrs. Carradine was as busy as Mrs. Wayans.
Yeah. It's got one sons and Mrs. Carradine.
Mrs. Baldwin, Jesus.
No, there's only 4 Baldwins.
Wow. I don't know if anyone's going to know this lady by the name, but Martha Plimpton is related as well. She was in Parenthood.
Yeah.
She was the mother in Raising Hope. Wow. There you go. That's the only 2 things I know her from.
Oh, no. She's
been, I recognize she's been in a bunch of stuff, but yeah.
Well, she was the non-girlfriend in Goonies.
Ah, yeah, she was in Goonies too, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yep. But
All right, what's everybody's best guess for Gremlins rating come next week?
Actually, no, because I haven't seen it. I have to watch it tomorrow.
yeah, put that in your fucking schedule.
I feel like it's going to be pretty low because I think he's going to just go, this is weird. I feel like he's I don't want to say not going to get it because I don't think that's quite the right way to put it, but
he's not going to get it.
It's just not going to appeal to him.
If you can't feed him after midnight, when can you start feeding him again?
Right. Well, that is good. I guarantee he's going to nitpick. Yeah, he will nitpick the rules.
What if they switch time zones? Where is it? Where the Mogwai's born? What do they drink for fluids? How many words of English can they say, and how many do they know?
I'd say he gives it. I think he'll probably give it. Since he gave Christmas Vacation a 3, being generous, and was a natural 2, I think he's just gonna give Gremlins a 2.
No, 4. He's gonna get shit from Ping 2, and he's gonna have to upgrade it because Gizmo is fucking adorable.
Fine, I'll run middle of the pack and say 3.
Mal rated 2. Blonde will say 3.5. If she saw it as a kid, Maynard's giving conditions here. Okay, so if Blonde was somehow stuck in a crate for her entire childhood, much like Garrick,
beat you to
what? Bring a Jinx, home your Coke.
Yeah.
I just watched it a couple weeks ago. Well, months ago now.
So
but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Matt's going to harp on the fact that it's barely a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie like Die Hard is a Christmas movie, which is the point.
No. There's emotional scarring from Christmas in that movie.
Oh, the chick talking about, Dad was on the roof and he fell and snapped his neck, and that's when I found out there was no Santa. Merry Christmas, kids!
No, he snuck down he snuck down the chimney and suffocated.
I was positive that she says that he snapped his neck.
Maybe he fell down the chimney and snapped his neck, but he was in the chimney because they didn't find out till they lit a fire and the smoke was blocked and they pulled him out.
Broke through. It sounds like he was on the top of the chimney. Okay, this story doesn't make sense. Was he actually going to try and come down the chimney?
Fucking fine. I mean, it's a movie.
He slipped and broke his neck, died instantly, and that's how I found out there was no Santa. I'm just looking up the quote now. So,
but yeah, so there's emotional scarring. Literal. It's got Dick Miller in it, so that's quality right there. There's a severe racism towards Hondas.
Wow,
Thanks, Dick Miller.
Wow, there's actually quite a lot to it. There's quite a lot to this story.
Yeah. It was a monologue.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Mom
sure he
called
ended
the
up
office, no answer. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he ended up in the chimney.
Yeah. It sounds by the description of this, he was at the top of the chimney, and one day it was cold, so she went to light a fire, and what was it? And presumably it smoked.
Yeah.
That's why I noticed that's why I noticed the smell. Right. Okay.
To this day, I can't eat barbecue
Hey, but-
without thinking of my father. You
Yeah.
should say that. You should say
He
that.
slipped and broke his neck, died instantly. But this is still weird because it sounds like he's going to come down the chimney. It's like, you realize people can't physically, well, I assume, I mean, I don't know how big people's chimneys are.
There's chimneys you can, for damn sure.
Yeah, but not in the last century. There haven't been though.
Yeah, true enough. My home chimney, no, I would never. Even as a kid, I couldn't get it up that thing.
Yeah,
But,
they're about 6 inches around. Anything built
Oh,
after
my
like in 1900 is about 6 inches round.
That beautiful fireplace from The Haunting with Liam Neeson, Catherine
Yeah.
Zeta-Jones. It was so big the fucking dangler took somebody's head off. So yeah, it was fucking gigantic. Or House on Haunted Hill had a huge chimney too. The grate was so big that like 6 people were able to climb in that thing to dig through something to find bones. It was gigantic. Those were beautiful places too. I don't care if The Haunting was a shit movie. Absolutely beautiful scenery.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take your word. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. So
Check it out. It's good. It's a Christmas movie. It's not. It's not a Christmas movie. A lot of the Christmas movies aren't Christmas movies, but this one was because there was definitely some holiday spirits.
Oh wow, it's close for the week after. Muppet Christmas Carol is leading by 2 votes over Home Alone 2.
Well, have you seen Home Alone?
Well,
yeah, he reviewed the first time alone. Yeah.
well, and let's not fake the funk. The reason Schlecht picked Home Alone 2 is the Trump cameo.
If it's a digital copy, it might not be in there.
I just watched it last weekend on Netflix, and it's in there.
Oh.
So the Netflix version still has it in it.
Oh, that's surprising because they've taken out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that's surprising because they did stuff like they took out that episode of Community where they're playing in Dungeons and Dragons and Chang's done up as a dark elf, so they're like, "Oh, it's blackface. We've got to remove that episode." You know, they do seem to edit and remove stuff. So,
yeah, I don't like that at all. Was it? Who were the douchebags behind the counter? Was that Tim Curry and
Tim Curry, Rob Schneider? I don't know.
Rob Schneider?
Yeah, but I don't know who the lady is. I recognize her as an actress, but I don't know what she's been in.
I remember him tipping a piece of gum.
So what did you guys vote for?
I haven't watched it yet.
I voted for Muppet Christmas Carol.
No, Jingle all the way. Muppet Christmas Carol's winning by 2 votes right now.
Right, that's what I just said.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was Home Alone.
Beating it by 2.
I didn't catch that part. God. Yeah. Good movies.
Holy shit! There's 4 Home Alone movies.
I think it's 5 Home Alone movies.
Yeah, there's 5.
There's 5. Good
Yeah,
goal.
the
Is it-
first
yeah,
2 are
it's-
Macaulay, and the third one is his brother, and the other 2 don't exist.
Well, no, third is just some random kid that's not related. Fourth is supposed to be, I think, Kevin McAllister again, but everyone's recast. And the 5th is another one that's just not in any way connected, I don't think.
Right. The 5th one went directly to TV, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Direct to video is what it's called. You fucking young bastard.
I know.
Direct to TV is
Or a made-for-TV movie.
what's
It means it
happening now.
didn't go into the...
No, yeah, there we go. It wasn't made for, number 5 wasn't made for TV. Made for TV.
The other gal behind the counter was Dana Ivey.
Yeah, who I do recognize.
Yeah, she was in the Addams Family movie. She was in Rush
Dana.
Hour 3.
Tina Ivey.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a recognizable face. She's obviously been in a bunch of stuff.
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's like a chick character actor, Jay.
That is going with sexist.
Almost.
Chick character actor. Yeah, that's sexist. Wait, was she grandmama?
Who was she in Addams Family? No, she was Margaret Alford. She was the one who was she like the neighbor?
Oh, this woman.
No, she's the one that gets with Cousin It. She's the one who ends up marrying Cousin It.
Oh, yeah, because that's Carol Kane play grandmama. I know who she is now.
She's a very important character in Home Alone 2. She's credited as desk clerk.
I'm sure Tim Curry was.
Boy, you missed that rant I just gave about Judo Jean LaBelle.
Oh, what was she in Orange County? I haven't seen Orange County for a while. I don't remember.
Well, Rob Schneider gets the moniker Bellman.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
And Tim Curry's only the concierge.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, they didn't really do anything that required character names.
There was this great comment about
Rob Schneider was the best voice, so.
I'm trying to think if it was I think he got a couple of pieces of gum or something for picking up the bags, and then
when he tipped him, he gave him gum, and he's like, "Oh, thank." And then he's like, and later on, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, you want a tip?" And he kind of takes the gum out of his mouth and goes, "Nope, I've still got lots of tip left over." And he pulls out big wad of cash and goes, "No tip? Oh, okay."
No, he's counting his sticks of gum, and Tim Curry turns to him and says, "Don't count your tips in front of the guests."
I don't remember that part.
I do.
Steven Suarez says Angelica Houston is a character face. Okay. Yeah, I finished watching Wednesday this week, and
How was it?
It wasn't as woke as you'd expect, but they tried.
I don't know if Dangerous Spaces and Garrick know about Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You'll have to be a bit more specific.
She died.
Oh, okay.
She passed away from cancer today.
Shivers. No, I didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm. But so it's the movie, the show. There's 8 episodes. It's about Wednesday. It's not about the Addams Family.
Boarding school or something, right?
Yeah, but I that's my issue with it. I don't. From me personally, this might just be my take on the Addams Family, but the Addams Family was just a family. Like they made a big deal out of this boarding school being for misfits, freaks, and outcasts, and I don't feel the Addams Family looked at themselves as any different from any other family. Like a pitchfork crowd chasing Great Aunt Selma and setting her on fire was just like a happy coincidence. Instead of there's no hiding what they are. There's no hiding what they're doing. They just make some off comments every once in a while. Like she literally donated to the Children and Orphans Fund because she thought she was creating more of them. Now, if they were an outcast, they would think, we're outcasts, we're different, we're excluded from the whole. And they tried to make this whole oppression thing, and it's like, no, they just thought every family was exactly like them. And because that's how open and honest they were about everything. Like, they invited everybody to their their family seance nights and expected them to understand what was going to happen. They weren't outcasts. To me, personally, that maybe that's just my view. I'm missing something.
No, they were the quirky and odd, and they just. It's not like they were being they weren't contrarians. They were just quirky and odd.
Yeah. But in this, there's this whole dynamic between the city and the Nevermore being the outcasts and the weird and the strange. And Gomez at 18 lost a sword fight, was accused of murder, and was ashamed that he was accused of murder. When in the Addams Family, there's a line, "Isn't he a ladies' killer?" And his defense was acquitted. Not, no, I wasn't a ladies' killer. They couldn't prove it was me. It takes away from what I thought was the playfulness of it. And it puts it in a light that I just don't care for.
Well, this is what happens when you have an entire generation of goths come up and.
Well, yeah, but this was Tim Burton's baby.
No, that's a fair
Tim
point.
Burton of
He should know
Scissor.
better. Yeah, he should know better.
Yeah. Another thing is it puts right in there that Goody Adams, one of the fledgling members of the Addams Family, because apparently it just starts randomly at some generation, was in the town that founded the school in 1675. Then why is Gomez Adams played by a man with a Mexican accent? I mean,
his name is Gomez.
They've been in New Jersey for 4 centuries. Over 300 years. So they've been American citizens the whole time.
This is probably also very shallow of me, but was saying what's his name? Luis Guzman?
Yeah.
Is that
Guzman.
the name?
Yeah, Luis Guzman.
Seeing him and Catherine Zeta-Jones, I'm just looking at going, yeah, I know they're supposed to be odd and quirky, but no, that would never happen. No.
Yeah, no. Well, to me, and this is a difference, but Angelica Houston and the original Morticia, they just happen to be beautiful. It was an effortless thing. All they did was wake up and put on lipstick. And they were effortlessly beautiful women. And Catherine Zeta-Jones, to me, felt like she was trying to be pretty.
Admittedly, Catherine Zeta-Jones is getting a bit older, so kind of, you know.
Yeah, and that's another thing that bothered me, was the time frame. So it says that they graduated in 1990. First off, Catherine Zeta-Jones is 70, and Guzman's like 74. So they're far too old to have been graduating in the 90s, because I graduated a decade later.
I graduated 92, and yeah, I now feel ancient. Thanks.
Well, that's also the thing, though. Like, I'm sorry, you graduated in 1990, and you expect me, Gomez and Morticia Adams, kept their hands off each other enough to not have a baby for 15 fucking years? Because Wednesday celebrated her 16th birthday while she was there. So that means she was born mid 20s, whatever, 2000s. So graduated in 90, didn't have a kid till 2005. I'm like, they don't really seem like the pull it out type, if you know what I mean, or the condom couple. Like, I didn't
see. As much shit as we give Matt for reading far too into some movies and looking for justification where there doesn't need to be any, I'm gonna have to pull that same card on you here, sir.
Fair enough. Yeah. I couldn't get past the Arrow lineup. When you feather an arrow, there's 2 choices. There's vertical or horizontal. for the arrow lats. When you fire an arrow, it just goes straight forward. There's no conical spinning like Robin Hood. And that is for whether or not what you're hunting has a vertical or horizontal rib cage. And for aesthetic purposes, in the Catching Fire or the Mockingbird movies, Mockingjay movies, it was a vertical arrowhead when it should have been a horizontal arrowhead. And it sucks that took me out of the entire movie when it shouldn't have. So yeah, I can absolutely be pedantic. But then again, I'll watch a fucking movie like Ernest Scared Stupid about a troll with two noses. Or Tremors.
I am slightly disappointed that Ernest Saves Christmas does not make anybody's greatest Christmas movies lists.
It's right there in the middle of your
of this picture. Yes, that's intentional. But like, you see lists of Christmas movies from people, and it's hardly ever on there.
It's my number 3 behind Ernest Scared Stupid and Ernest Goes to Camp.
Oh, Goes to Camp.
Ernest Goes to Camp's a good movie.
Okay.
He sang that song in one take.
Wow. So can we talk with our guest about his list and his what
Absolutely.
movie got? All right.
Yeah, then we'll shit on your list again just for funsies.
Someone have the list up because I've already got too much open, so I don't want to open too many windows.
I got it right here in front of me.
You have his list?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, you just go to an old review and it'll still be on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still up. You had The Usual Suspects, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, Paddington, Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, 1 Hour Photo, Tropic Thunder, Crocodile Dundee, and Minority Report. I've seen all but 2 for sure. I think I've seen 1 Hour Photo. I'd have to double check though. Paddington, the only one I know I haven't seen.
Yeah, I think that's the one everyone assumed was everyone thought was a really random pick.
I have to agree.
You cut out there.
I said, yeah, I have to agree. That one was kind of a random one in there. It's a kid's story, just thrown in the mix.
Sort of, but I put it in because it's not. I mean, it is a kids' movie, but it is made. Okay, you know what? You want to ask about the selections? We might as well start with that one then. I really hate the idea, and I don't even really know why, but I really hate that idea when people kind of go, it's just a kids' movie. Who really cares? And then they're not that fussed about making the movie decent, and that just kind of pisses me off. And I really like that movie because it's not really made to just be a kids' movie. It's made for everyone. I wasn't even really thinking of this when I selected it, but in retrospect, I look and go, actually, it's probably a good movie to try and get them to watch at some stage because I think it'd be really good for them to show their kids because they're not going to. I don't think they're going to be bored by it. It's a very good movie. It's well made. It's very creative. Visually, it's quite interesting. There's got a couple of Wes Anderson looking bits in it, stuff like that. Pretty much all the characters are quite fun, things like that. I just really like the movie. I don't think I've ever met a person that watches it that's not, even if it's not one where they're like, I'd watch that a whole bunch more times. I don't think I've ever met a person that's not at least said, I found that really charming. I did really like that as a movie.
Yeah, it was a really nice family movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Hook on my list now.
And I actually think the second one might even be better. I don't know. I don't know how many of you have even seen either of the Paddington movies.
I don't think I've seen the second one. Which one is the Queen in? Is she in the first one?
Putting it on my list.
The Queen?
The Queen's in a Paddington movie. She has teeth Paddington.
She's not in. No, that was the intro to the Olympics. That wasn't a Paddington movie.
Oh, was that in? That wasn't in the movie.
Fucking goo. Hey, when did James Bond parachuting into Paddington? When did that happen?
But yeah, but no, you're right.
Oh.
He did have tea with the Queen, but that was the
Well, the Queen was
the-
in a Bond movie.
I think at least I think it was in the Olympics. It was one of those. It was one of the major events in the UK.
Do you guys remember when Mr. Bean serenaded Paddington at the opening games?
I'm gonna have to put a James Bond movie on my list now that I think about it.
Actually, that to date, that is still my favorite Olympic opening.
The London
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, the London Games. That was
Yeah.
that was great.
I think I could be wrong. I think that might have actually been basically directed, for lack of a better word, by Danny Boyle, the filmmaker. So probably explains why it's so good.
It was freaking. It was good.
Yeah.
Sean, it's got Hugh Grant in it. You won't like it.
Aw.
What, the second Paddington?
Oh, is it the second one? I just got the
Yeah,
first one up.
Second Paddington's got Hugh Grant in it. First one's got Hugh Bonneville, however you pronounce his name, from Downton Abbey. He played,
really?
but Hugh Grant is Hugh Grant in the second one is actually really good because he plays this basically slightly insane, egotistical actor. He like really plays up the ridiculous sort of notion of the kind of conceited and over the top actor. Basically, he's really good in it. Even if you don't generally like Hugh Grant, I think you would like him in Paddington too.
I think Hugh Grant's got a lot of talent. He's a good actor, but my problem with Hugh Grant is that I just cannot get past the transvestite hooker.
Okay, you have to clarify that. Oh,
He was
Here in
a
America.
transvestite
Yeah.
hooker.
and was she actually a transvestite?
Yes.
I remember
Well,
the
I don't know,
story. I
because we
don't
got the
remember
same
it actually
story.
being
Yeah,
trans.
we got the same story about Eddie Murphy too. So.
Um.
And Richard Gere smuggling gerbils.
Yeah.
Well, and I know Danny Bonaducci did get caught with a transvestite hooker because that happened here in Phoenix. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Hugh Grant got busted with a transvestite hooker.
I know you got busted with a hooker. I do remember the story now. Yeah, but
And again, you're Hugh Grant. What do you need a hooker for?
Wasn't
you
he
don't pay
with
them to
I
have
thought-
sex. You pay them to leave.
Go away. Yeah, I know.
But here's the other thing. I think he might have still been with Liz Hurley at the time.
I think he was.
So
Wow.
the hooker that you see that he was with, no offense to her or anything, I'm sure she was a lovely person. But I mean, but when you see the photo of her, it's like, you got Liz Hurley at home. Why the hell are you paying for this?
Because her current photographer for her lingerie modeling is her son. That's why you stay clear of Liz Hurley right now.
To be fair, Liz Hurley was I don't know if they ever got married. I think they got engaged though. She was engaged to one of our most famous sports people here in Australia. We love that. It was almost trailer trash in terms of the type of story. It was basically tabloid stories the whole time. But we were like, wow, we love this. This is great. It's stupid, but it's great.
Speaking of stupid, I just added Paddington, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is on there, and it's got one of my favorite lines from any movie, and it's there's a leak in the boat. then they look at the boat, and there's a leak in it.
Yeah,
And it freaked out back.
Leak.
Yeah, it freaks out back, and I'm like, that is. I don't care if this is a kids movie. That's hilarious.
But yeah, but that's my thing.
Being a parent, you get to watch a bunch of kid movies, and a lot of them are high production and awfully charming, which is kind of nice to see that. For the most part, as long as they're not Disney, they're not corrupting the youth. They're just out there to have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
that's-
watch the older Disney movies, like pre-90s or. I know that this like 70s or 60s to the 90s is kind of a rough area, but there's still a few gems in there. Everything pre-60s is fucking phenomenal.
What are you talking about?
For Disney.
Oh, for Disney? No.
No?
No, there's a 54 Mickey Mouse where he is making Swiss cheese by poking the holes in the Swiss cheese with his penis,
Hmm.
and it's a fake, but it's done by the people of Walt Disney to get back at Walt Disney. Apparently, he was not a big fan of the Jews.
Hmm.
Yeah, in terms of quality, that is why I like Paddington, just to kind of bring it back to that of, yeah. Again, I think anyone, and especially, it would have been interesting to see their take on it as young parents, because there's a scene in the movie where the two parents of the household kind of come riding in on a motorbike for the first child coming into the hospital, and they're on a motorbike and they look like, not hippies, that's the wrong way of putting it, like hipsters, a bit like they're kind of out of beatniks probably. Yeah, actually that's probably a more accurate description of what they look like. And they're kind of going into the hospital going, we're not going to let having a kid change us, are we? And it's like, no way, baby. And they kind of high five and walk in, and they come out and they're dressed very buttoned down, and he's like, okay, everyone just stay away, there's a baby here, just be careful, there's a baby. Just the joke of them just switching like that, it's like, oh, it would have been funny just to see what they think of that one particularly, because I think they both would have been able to, really relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just to Stephen Suarez in the chat, yes, I have seen The Long Kiss Goodnight. It's actually a pretty good movie. Corny and tacky as hell, but it's fun.
Oh, Stephen Suarez, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. A lot of the kind of plot line revolves around the idea that it is Christmas and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he always brings it up this time of year, and half of the other time of the years as well, because he doesn't stop. He just pushes Long Kiss Goodnight.
This is the first year that I remember everybody jumping on the bandwagon about Love Actually.
What
in what regards?
That it's a Christmas movie.
It technically is.
Well,
I mean, it is a Christmas movie.
So is The Holiday, but that one never gets any clout.
Well,
I assumed you mean everyone was jumping on it because they're now looking and going, there's some really questionable stuff in this movie.
Well, no, that was just that one BBC report.
Yeah.
Wait, what am I missing?
There was so Christmas movies were coming up as a topic. This is about, I don't know, half a month ago, whatever. And people were saying, well, okay, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. We've all come to accept that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So then the next obvious one is Gremlins. Gremlins is a Christmas movie because it's around Christmas. So somebody brought up Love Actually. And this is the first year that I remember people pushing that Love Actually is a Christmas movie. Well, that caused some guy on the BBC to make this basically hit piece on why it's a problematic movie, going down all the woke talking points of, well, this guy's a stalker and this, that, and the other thing, and there's a lack of diversity, and it's a bunch of privileged white people, and blah, 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 blah. He had like a 20-minute spiel on the BBC about why this
Did it take place in London? Because then I could see a lack of diversity.
Well, he can piss off with it's a bunch of white people. There was the black guy that was the friend of Colin. There was the lady who came over from whatever country. I don't know if they ever say what it is. Whatever his name is. The guy that's doing the writing. I can't remember. He's in the King's Speech. Colin Firth. There's a lady from that. I mean, there is mostly white people, but there definitely are people. The Laura Linney, the guy that she's in love with, is I don't know what he is, Hispanic or something. I can't remember. But there is some diversity. And it's mostly white people, but it's Britain. Of course, it's mostly white people.
Well, 20 years ago.
I mean, that talking point is kind of stupid. Let's be fair. But there is some stuff in that's a bit iffy. It's like this dude's really kind of very creepy regarding the woman that just married his best friend. There definitely is stuff that you go, some of it's a bit,
Well, I mean, there's plenty of pop references to that. Say Anything is basically that same thing. The hit song Jesse's Girl is all about how a guy wants his best friend's girl. It's not like it's untrodden territory. It's not like it's just all of a sudden, oh, that's too creepy. What a weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only is there snow in the poster for it, it's got a bow and a note. on the actual poster for Love Actually.
Okay.
In cinemas on November 21st, actually. The cover for the Jesus Christ, the VHS tape is
God,
How old is
is
this
it?
movie?
well, that's the thing though. It's the Universal and Love Actually on the binder, you know, this the short side is so thick it has to be a VHS cover. But yeah, it's got
That has to be what, pre-2000s? When did they come out with DVDs?
I fucking hate you, Garrick. Pre 2000s.
Shut up.
Pre
Well,
2000s.
let's see.
2003.
I remember when DVDs came out. I must have been like 9 or 10. So yeah, late 90s. At least that's the first time I saw them.
Well, I had a Laserdisc player before I had a DVD player.
I was never that wealthy.
But I have somebody look up Twister for me. I have Twister on DVD, and that's got to be 97. So Twister's a 1996 film. So if it's late enough in the year, May of 96. So 96 is the DVDs.
I cannot remember what the first movie I got on DVD was.
I do. It was Black Hawk Down. And I remember that because there was a DVD.
I have Speed on Laserdisc.
What is it called? Columbia House or something?
What?
Columbia House?
Oh, wait, Westinghouse? White Westinghouse?
No, Columbia House, where you got all the DVDs for like $1.
Exactly.
They signed you up and they send them to you whether you wanted them or not.
And then you have to buy 3 more at $39.99 a piece.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I fell for that scam, but you know what? I got some good movies out of it, so.
It's not really a scam. It's actually a decent price.
For the first run, sure.
Yeah, but if you spend $40 on 3 DVDs, but in total you have 10 DVDs for $65, it's not a bad price.
Yeah. But the longer you stay on there, the more it kind of creeps closer and closer to what it should actually be.
Yeah.
Right. Eventually, you have to cancel or you start losing money.
Yeah,
exactly.
You do end up making money off a first run, but you do have to cancel that shit. So Paddington's good choice. Minority Report is topical, so I can see why you would suggest Minority Report.
There's definitely ethical dilemmas in there. There's paradoxes. I think it's up Matt's alley. He would like.
Yeah, but also like pre-crime is something that's been referenced lately.
Well, that's the ethics thing I was talking about.
Stephen, my grandpa, was a gigantic embracer of technology. So yeah, he had all the new things. For some reason, my family owned an opaque projector. We never needed an opaque projector. We even had just a regular projector, and all we did with that was make fucking shadow puppets. My grandpa would just it was like it had to be like a form of hoarding, because we had a Commodore 64, we had an Atari, grandpa couldn't even use half the stuff. Yeah. But he was an embracer of technology, that's for damn sure.
What else was on the list?
We're on Minority Report. You want to skip to the next one?
Well, I did. I thought that kind of was speaking for itself as why it would be on there. Did you have any other reasons why Minority Report was on your list?
Tim?
Oh, little less doxing, buddy.
Oh, everybody knows.
All 4 of the people watching.
Exactly. Hey, you get mad for doxing Lily. I mean, come on.
Wow, doxing.
And I'm not.
I still don't know who knows, so I make sure I do not out Mrs. Christensen.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, Frank has done it 3 times, and once on Matt's actual stream. So I don't know. I think the cat's out the bag at this point.
Well, yeah, he had a VHS player. Jesus, Steven. No, he did not have a beta, but he had a VHS to DVD, which is great because I have the stupidest DVD with like 17 commercials from the 1980s.
Hey man, those are records worth holding on to.
And they are like the void. Then I forgot about the
My
void.
son cleaned out his closet, and he found the VHS copies I have of one of the Blackadders, which has 2 episodes of the Blackadder on it. And then he also found my copy of Howard the Duck.
Oh God. This was Leah Thompson before bestiality. She's not the same. Ducks have corkscrew penises. So.
Yeah, they were. So did Danger Spaces make it back on?
Well, I don't have to
here, but he's been
Has he
unresponsive for a little bit. But he's still on the call.
Okay.
You can come back when, whatever. Maybe he's fighting the Great Evening War or something again. The
spiders got him.
Yeah.
No, like Dangerous Spaces. He just means Australia.
Go get to the loo. No, we're not.
No, we're not hearing you.
Maybe come back, go off and come back on.
Interesting Australia fact that I found out the other day. They had to remove an episode of Peppa Pig, speaking of kid shows, because the episode of Peppa Pig they were talking about spiders, and they were talking about how the spiders were small and harmless. Well, you can't have that message being played to kids in Australia because the spiders are actually horrifyingly dangerous.
Yeah.
You back? Say words.
Yeah, his mic's not feeding in.
Weird.
You might have to play with the sound settings in the actual meeting, Dangerous Spaces, to tweak the mic.
Yeah,
they had it working.
Mute, unmute. I wonder if I put in closed captioning if we'd see him.
You can do closed captioning for the whole meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, wild. I don't know why they had to get rid of Hangouts. Hangouts worked flawlessly for the most part.
1 second, it's not working in Discord either. Why are you in Discord?
Oh, they're probably
Hello?
both trying to. There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Hang on, I've got to stop in Discord because now I can hear myself. No,
Okay,
I was just testing in Discord, doing the thing where you can hear yourself back to make sure you sound all right.
All right, turning off closed captions because it understands you about as well as Steve Harvey does.
You ever seen that skit where they had the voice active elevator in Britain, and a couple of Scotsmen got into it and they were stuck?
And it sounds like something they do to the Welsh.
Anyway, Minority Report. I don't know how long I haven't actually been round now. Stupid microphone.
You may I realized after talking about Minority Report you were gone. You were not responsive. So
yeah,
before Minority Report probably.
So I don't know what happened there, but anyway, it happens occasionally.
Yeah.
No, that one wasn't necessarily the pre-crime and all that sort of stuff, although that is relevant. It was more the COVID thing of the idea of the movie being about where they said that this is a perfect system and relying on it completely and doing whatever they can to make sure that anyone that questioned the system was gotten rid of. In terms of the Lamar, I think the bad guy's name is, that it turns out to be the villain. and stuff like that. So it just seemed like it was very relevant to a lot of COVID stuff in terms of how they acted and how they viewed the system of pre-crime and all that, and seemed very analogous to the COVID systems and the way people talk about that and act regarding that sort of stuff. So,
well, the thing that bothered me is it technically worked.
Well, so I mean, sort of.
No, it worked flawlessly. It was abused by the head of the pre-crimes unit, but it worked flawlessly.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. You don't know that it worked flawlessly because one of the what do they call them? The precogs could actually see a different future. So it's a case of, well, how do you know that that's not? How do you know there's no guarantee that that's not going to be the future that it ends up occurring?
Wait a minute. Which Minority Report did you watch?
Is
there two?
One? No,
because
the one with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
I think
because Colin Farrell was in that. I was thinking of Total Recall because Colin Farrell was the replacement in Total Recall.
Yeah. Which, by the way, to be fair, I've not seen the original Total Recall, but I kind of liked the new one. It was, it's all right. It's a pretty standard action film, but beyond that, it's all right.
Wait, so you're like the only person that was surprised that chick had 3 tits?
No, I knew all the references and stuff from Total Recall.
Holy shit, she's got 3 boobs. Yeah.
But I've just never. Yeah.
Garrick is probably another one who didn't realize it either.
No, I was just a big fan of Kate Beckinsale, so I prefer that one. Sorry, Arnie.
Oh, she was such a bitch.
I don't care. She's hot.
To be fair, so was Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone in Total Recall was amazingly beautiful.
Wait,
Absolutely.
and you get Beal, so you get a twofer. I can't say Recall.
Yeah, that's Total Recall did have the second one did have a
2 hot chicks.
Yeah, I mean the first one did too, but
all right. I don't know about this first one.
Did you see
that was it?
The chick that was presumably the fellow spy, however you want to describe her, she was all right. I don't know if she was anything amazing.
Right.
I mean, to have Michael Ironsides after you and facing Ronnie Cox, that's way better than to freaking Breaking Bad bullshit with It seemed to work more for me, probably because I'm old, than to give a shit about Bryan Cranston and Bokeem Woodbine. It didn't do it for me.
To be fair, there might have been a very animalistic, simple part of my brain that goes, "Hey, they reference Australia. I'm in Australia. That's cool." So there's probably a little bit of that. So
I would have loved for my parents to have been old enough to be like, oh, so for us, because my family would always reference, what are you digging to China? So for the UK, they would have been digging to China. They would have been digging to Australia.
Well, that's the weird thing. We got told that hey, you keep digging, you'll go to China. Which, in retrospect, you look back at it and go, geographically, that doesn't make any sense.
I had a buddy. So whenever somebody would block my dad's vision, he'd say, "Move! Your daddy wasn't a glassmaker." My buddy's daddy was a glassmaker. He goes, "Why do people say that? He is." He never got that. He never extrapolated that you're not made out of glass. We can't see through you.
Yeah.
It's like, why do people say that? My dad is a glassmaker.
No, my grandfather liked to yell muddy water at us.
Well, one of the funniest stories I've heard regarding that was there's like a water park here in Australia that would put on. Basically, they'd put on a movie in like not a wave pool. Oh, was it a wave pool? It might have been. They might have just not put the waves on during the movie. I think it might have been a wave pool. Regardless, it's irrelevant. They put on a movie and you could kind of basically just float in essentially a massive pool, just watching the movie, most nights. And one of my mates from church was there, and I think there was a couple of churches there that got together and do a thing. And and one of the youth pastors kept standing up and kind of getting in the way, and you couldn't really see. And there was a kid there that was a really good cricket player, so he was very good at throwing and being very accurate, and kind of throwing pretty hard. Got a like one of those everlasting gobstoppers or something like that. I can't remember what the thing was, but a lolly of some form.
Ow!
And just pegged it,
Like
hit the
hell.
guy in the back of the head, and the guy just clutched the back of his head, dropped down. It's like, there we go, he's down again.
Up here, they're called jawbreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
if
sort
they're
of
the
thing.
size
Yeah.
of a baseball. My God, that would hurt like hell.
No, the ones we have aren't that big. They're probably the size of maybe a slightly larger marble.
Oh, okay. So they're the mid-size. Because here we have everlasting gobstoppers that are the size of a baseball.
Yeah. Nah, fair enough. But no, it wasn't one of the big ones. But still, it would have hurt. Like it's still it's still a solid thing. It's like getting a marble chucked at your head. That would hurt. So.
That would hurt. That hurt like hell.
Steven bragging about getting fondled by Kate Beckinsale. Fuck you, Steven. So wasted on the gays. But then again,
I was gonna say, hey, hang on, Stephen, ain't you gay? Come on, that's unfair.
Come on now,
that's a karmic injustice.
But for a gay guy, he has impeccable taste in women. I'll give him that. But yeah.
But to be fair, Pete Davidson was fondled by Kate Beckinsale, so.
I mean, but I would be bragging about that shit. You kidding me?
Yeah, I don't really like. Admittedly, I'm not a woman, but I don't get Pete Beckinsale. He gets women that, regardless of what you think of the women themselves, are generally considered pretty hot. And it's like, how the hell does this guy get it? He looked like if STDs was a person.
Yeah. He's just.
Oh,
I had someone try to explain it to me once, and I'm like, "Are you gay? You're not doing it for me." Like, women like to be felt safe, and I'm like, "There's no feeling safe with Pete Davidson. He looks like a fuck boy."
Well, apparently he's hauling around a baby's arm holding an apple.
Well, with those ears, it's probably true. But I don't. If we're not talking about Dean Cain, I don't want to go down that road. Not again. Not with Dean Cain. All right, so we've done two.
How about the usual suspects?
That's a good one, man.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Usual Suspects, I'm really torn on though, and that is one of the things I write in. When you write the little spiel of why you picked it, I'm really torn on. Is it a really good movie because there's the twist that really recontextualizes everything? Or is the movie getting to the end and basically telling us, none of this shit happened, so you've just wasted 2 hours of your time? And I'm so torn on that movie as to which one it is.
Well, that's stupid because all movies are made up in a waste of time.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I think if you take that angle, you're missing the point. The point being is that Verbal Kint took snippets of what's on the board behind the guy he's talking to. But that's spun a yarn for 2.5 hours, and you
that's my point.
It.
That's my point. Did he make up the entire thing? Did he basically tell partly a true story and just took names and stuff and changed information?
Yeah, it had to be a true story. It had to be a true story because it had to match up with what the cops did know. Yeah. So maybe the people were different.
But you also know that there was at least part truth because the lawyer that you see throughout the thing picks him up at the end. So, But that's one where I'm torn on that. I'm like, is this one of those, not quite the same, but very much in the same vein of it was all a dream at the end of, oh, that's stupid, or is it, Well,
no.
I understand the twist, and I understand that they're really quite brilliant because it really throws you, and especially the part at the end when he's walking along and the limp just suddenly disappears.
Right. It's a criminal mastermind showing why he's a criminal mastermind. Oh, we got another bot.
He's a peak con. Got you. He got everybody. That is something worth watching. Even if he dupes you in the end, it's worth it because you learn how he did it.
Yeah. And I do not like the open Well, it's for your interpretation. No, spell that shit out for me. Tell me what happened. I have too many options. Don't do that to me. Like, all right, so how long was Bill Murray trapped in Groundhog's Day?
For forever, it seems.
Okay, so if breaking it down by somebody who, like an actual reporter, took the time for, and talked to different people and varying degrees and yada, and it is estimated that Bill Murray was trapped in Groundhog's Day for 10,000 years.
Yeah. I assume, and maybe you're talking about the same thing I'm talking about here, but there was someone that did the thing of figuring out how long it would take you to like learn the various things that he learned and stuff like that, and kind
play
of
the piano,
extrapolated it from that. Ice sculpture, all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
exactly. The expertise involved in doing those things ended up taking like 7 years for this, 5 years for that, 6 years for this, and it ended up being 10,000 years was the estimated time. That was not spelled out properly.
Yeah,
in the movie. I don't. Is Shane dead at the end? Did he not turn back because he couldn't turn back? Did he not turn back because he was trying to be strong? I need to know the answer.
Have you guys seen the Negotiator? It's got Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
it's
a great movie.
that whole conversation. Shane couldn't turn back. He was dead. He was shot. He was shot.
Motherfucker, he's alive. Yeah. I need it spelled out for me. And what's worse is there was an actual, there was a narration over the ending of it implicitly spelling out how you were duped, and they took that away, which was, I was like, oh, that was a little too much explanation.
Sorry, for a narration at the end of The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explaining like exactly what he did and like plugging it in even further than just the pictures, instead of like, because there was kind of there was a review of what was being said.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm wondering. So you don't mean the part where he's looking at the pictures and you hear Kevin Spacey's voice of saying the parts that relate to the different things that we then see on the board. You're not talking about that. It was the cop. It was something different.
It was the cop laying each and every part out.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's too much.
Yeah,
that was too much. I'm glad you went that way with it. But I need the ending spelled out. Because I wasn't there for the creative process. Just tell me. I don't need to think about it for weeks or months. I can already do that on the stupidest little insignificant part of Seven, for instance. The movie Seven, god awful.
Well, that's the fun. Think about it. That's the funny thing. I don't know if you guys ever saw a YouTube video by a guy called Patrick Wilhelm, something like that. He does a lot of movie analysis videos, YouTube, pretty decent production values and stuff. But he did one where he was complaining and saying, "Can we stop talking about plot holes?" And I'm like, no, because the whole point of the movie is our job as an audience member is to literally sit down and watch the thing. The movie maker needs to be telling us everything we need to know.
Yeah, the Batman Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, getting back.
Yeah, getting back. Like the Joker throws Batman off the tower. Like, dude, that's your home. Like there's nothing you could have done but gone back up there. Like what would have Batman done other than go back up to the top of the building where he lived? Like you threw him off the building.
But that is one thing that annoys me when I'm watching that video, and a couple of people did do responses to it and stuff. And it's like, okay, that's an idiotic viewpoint, because the whole point is a filmmaker needs to. But basically, we shouldn't have to do any of the work to consume the story. If we as an audience have to do any work for actually telling the story, like if we have to tell it in our own head, then for the most part they've failed. Not always, because sometimes what we view as important is not really the point of the movie, and therefore it's not necessary. But to some degree, it should be explained as best as possible for everything, so that we don't have to try and do the work ourselves. Because if we're doing that, then it's potentially a failure of a movie.
Yeah, I'm eyes and ears, not eyes, ears, and brain. No, don't make me think.
The brain comes after the movie.
Yeah. When you're talking about it and reviewing it with friends and stuff, like the Big Bang Theory makes a big thing out of Indiana Jones has no.
It doesn't have an impact on the story. If you took him out, the story would play out exactly the same way.
Like, to be fair, he's just a teacher. He wasn't a spy. He was just a grave robber. Calm down. Like he's not a folk hero. He's just an academic. But it's questionable on other fronts. But like Daniel Russo in Karate Kid is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. Like don't make me think. Stop it. But especially in the 80s. But explain it to me. Just explain what I need to know. Don't make me figure out that shit's done. Like I already know you don't make deals with the devil because he's going to have sex with your wife and daughter and turn them into a monster. I've seen your movie. Thank you. Continue. Like it's stupid. So you've got that's 3 down.
Okay. How about 1 hour photo? To which to my recollection, I don't think I've seen it.
Isn't that where Robin Williams plays a serial killer?
No. He definitely gives off the vibe, but no, he's a photo lab technician, hence the name 1 hour photo. And basically, he's been developing photos for this family for basically their entire life. He's seen, I can't remember how far it goes back, but he's definitely seen like their kid grow up and stuff like that. And he gets like really obsessed with them. He's got a big collage on his wall at home where he's taken extra copies of their photos and taken them home. And he gets really obsessive and stuff. And it's he's really creepy in it, which is partly why I wanted to do it. I think it's quite an enjoyable movie. And he's not very recognizable in it, but he's really good in terms of acting. And it's really creepy. And I just enjoy the movie. I thought it's a bit of a different one to put in there for, something a bit unique, and especially one that I think a lot of people maybe haven't seen before.
There's Matt Damon did hot takes with the chicken wings, and the interviewer brought up that allegedly in Good Will Hunting, there's a scene with Robin Williams and Matt Damon, and they're talking, Robin Williams is just riffing, and Matt Damon's character is laughing, but the camera is shaking.
Oh yeah. You can definitely see it. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, because the cameraman can't stop laughing at how funny Robin Williams is.
Yeah, he was talking about when Robin Williams is talking about his wife, and he goes, "My wife used to fart in her sleep, just out of nowhere, just brings it up." And then keeps going with that, and he's like, one time she farted so loud she wake herself up. You know. She kind of turned to me and go, "Was that you?" And I was like, no. I think he said they blamed on the dog or something. It's like, but you can definitely see the camera shaking. Yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay. I was like, I remember them.
And Matt Damon laughs so hard he kind of wheezes through his nose. You can,
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the camera definitely shakes a bit. Yeah. It's still enough that you may not necessarily quite know what you're looking at. Like it's not shaky cam sort of levels, but if you look at it, you can definitely see the camera's shuddering. So
I mean, it's just filming 2 guys laughing. So all right, 1 hour photo. That sounds like I didn't go dark like Memento dark or anything like that in my picks, but it's not a bad choice for. Definitely a different side of Robin Williams.
I mean, I'm going 7 dark, so.
7.
It's kind of dark. Anyway.
Oh no, 7's dark. I just don't think it's good enough to be included in anything. The acting in 7 is beyond superb, but the storyline falls apart.
Well, the thing that really pissed me off, not about 7 itself, I don't know if you guys have seen the latest Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson one.
Yeah. Where the Penguin plays De Niro. I've seen it.
But yeah, in terms of that, everyone was kind of going, "Oh, this is basically Batman, but if this is basically 7, but as a Batman movie," and I'm like, if I want 7 as a Batman movie, I could just watch 7. Why the hell would I want to watch? Yeah.
I had to get talking off the cliff of not liking Batman. I thought it was different than it was, but Sean talked me off that cliff. I liked it.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
But it fell apart fast. You kidnap somebody at home, you kidnap somebody on the street, and then you kidnap somebody right in front of the place that you're watching. Like you were deteriorating faster than Kaiser fucking Soze.
Well, I mean, I wasn't crazy about it. I feel like I'm maybe nuts because I didn't really like the Batman and I didn't really like Joker. I just thought both of them are like, yeah, they're all right. I don't get. Everyone keeps kind of acting like they're the second coming of Jesus. I'm not sure. I see. Joker, the Joaquin, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like the new Batman could have just been anybody, but the Kevin or the Christopher Nolan Batman had to be the richest motherfucker in town.
Yeah,
like a custom car is doable on a Ford Motor Company salary, but an Earthwalker vehicle that breaks apart into a motorcycle, that breaks apart into a unicycle, that breaks apart into a Batmobile fucking again? No, that's bajillions of dollars.
You gotta have resources to create that. Yeah. And I think with the Batman, the thing that really typifies it for me is we're sitting there in the theater. I got my housemate next to me because we tend to be the ones that organize going to the movies and stuff. And he's sitting next to me, and the car chase scene comes up, and he starts kind of almost cheering, which, unusual here in Australia. We don't really tend to do it. And he starts doing that. I'm sitting there going, oh, thank fuck, something's finally happening. I was just like, this is just like, I understand what you're doing in terms of showing the detective side of Batman, and that's great, but do something.
Mm-hmm. And they definitely do not do enough detective Batman stuff. Like, the guy's got 25 doctor degrees or whatever. Show some of that, because even in Joker, or in the first Tim Burton Batman, when he hands the list over of the chemicals combinations that kill people, that was pretty much just completely glossed over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's more in the second one. There's more time devoted to Oswald Copperpot writing the names down of firstborn children than there are to any real aspect of Batman's development. And he murdered the shit out of people in Batman 2.
Yeah.
Which is a Christmas movie.
I was wondering if that would come up.
Yeah. Here's your present. I put it in your pants and it exploded. By the way, you are absolutely dead. Oh, and then I turned the Batmobile around and set your bomb-throwing ass on fire. You are also dead, sir. Everyone's dead. like you didn't kill the Joker. Joker killed himself, but you murdered the shit out of people at the start of Batman 2.
Yeah.
Like, you should have just had a bat gun and we're just capping motherfuckers.
Well, that was part of the fun of that movie, is all the parents freaking out when they took their kids to see it. Because it was like, what the hell did we just watch?
Do you know Bob Saget?
Yeah.
Do you know Full House?
Yeah.
Do you know
America's
Bob?
funniest home video.
Dude, how bloody isolated do you think we are?
No, we don't know what you get down there. Now I can see you getting Full House, but like America's funniest videos that he hosted for years was
I don't know how much
twice a week.
Yeah. I don't know how much we got that. We got we had our own version. We had Australia's funniest home videos. So yeah.
I don't know how much touring Bob Saget got around to. He was Rodney Dangerfield's protege.
Yeah.
He was the definition of a blue comic.
Yeah.
He was very like his jokes start with, "I was sucking this guy's dick."
Yeah.
Well,
I'm familiar with some of his work in terms of that he's very like he's talked about that where he goes, people come to see me expecting Full House Bob Saget and they go, what is going on?
Yeah, well, I'm like, okay, it's fair. It's fair that Danny Tanner is not Bob Saget, but America's Funniest Home Videos is Bob Saget.
And
so
he was just clean, and he was in everybody's living room. Everybody loved him. He was Mr. America, and then you go to his comedy show, and he is as filthy as Richard Pryor.
Yeah, it's like no one expects, to Andy Griffith to take a seat behind the mic and start talking about dead baby jokes. Like you build up a certain mystique, if you will, not necessarily mystique, but just something you're known for, and it sticks with you, dude.
Yeah.
So maybe you put that your comedy is over 18. Maybe people won't show up to that. But so what did you have? You had
Dodgeball.
Oh, okay, Dodgeball. The Underdog Story. Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah, it's a
Ben
variant of a sense of humor. It's not Ben Stiller, really. It's not even Ben Stiller comedy, which is why it's watchable.
Right. I was gonna say I do not like Ben Stiller, but I like Dodgeball, and Tropic Thunder is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I think for both that and Tropic Thunder, they're kind of rooted in the same thing for me, which is I tend to like sort of absurdist comedies.
Do you like
Sorry?
Do you like Will Ferrell?
Yeah, Will Ferrell's all right. Depends on the movie, not in everything, but
Okay. Maybe. We'll see. I really despise most Will Ferrell movies. But that's just my opinion. Go on.
Yeah,
right.
There.
But a lot of my favorite comedies tend to be really absurdist ones of, Tropic Thunder, maybe not as much, but definitely to some degree. Dodgeball. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rat Race. It's pretty much
I
just
love Rat Race.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
There was another example. Zoolander, the first one. Second one is hot garbage, but I really like the first one. But yeah, movies along those sorts of lines, like the old Richard Pryor and what's his name? Played Willy Wonka.
Gene See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Yeah. So a lot of those sorts of movies were really quite good. I didn't find it as good, but I watched Three Amigos for the first time recently, and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
We constantly reference that movie.
Yeah, we're always referencing the plethora.
Would you say you have a plethora?
But I enjoyed that. Something like this it's a little more straight comedy, but I really like the Father of the Bride movies, like the Steve Martin ones, not the recent. There was a remake where they kind of race swapped everyone, which I've not seen. I'm not going to. I think Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia. Yeah.
But I like those, and I especially like the Martin Short's character in both those movies is really a highlight, and just the ridiculous whatever accent that's supposed to be. And I think that's kind of the point, is you don't know.
I can't stand Martin Short, and I love Three Amigos.
So
have you seen Vibes or Second Sight?
No, I don't think so. No.
You'll have to check those out. They're They're fairly absurd.
But
What-
that, yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
that tends to be my taste. Is a lot of those sorts of movies. I haven't seen it for a while, so I don't know if I'd still enjoy it. But things like the Gods Must Be Crazy movies. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those.
I saw the first one,
Oh.
and I saw it way too young, so it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
That was oh God, you devil for me. Like, it's just-
But
I don't get it.
I do remember stuff of like that. Like I think they went the truck to a tree or something, and it ends up getting pulled right up into the tree. What the bloody hell did you do that for?
Yeah, mine was
stuff
always
like
Water
that.
Boy. Yeah.
Oh, Arthur, another movie I saw too young.
Yeah, but you rewatch that as an adult, and you go, oh yeah, okay, now I get it, and it's actually really good.
Oh. Yeah. Also too young, I watched in the opposite direction was Drop Dead Fred.
Hey,
What is that?
do not disparage Rick Mayall.
Yeah. No, I saw it too young. I didn't understand why his why did he make that face looking up that girl's dress?
That one's kind of weird because it's about imaginary friends, but it's really not made for kids. It's like who was this made for?
Oh yeah.
Fans of the young ones and Rick Mayall in general.
Young Frankenstein fans?
Yeah,
Yahoo Seriously fans, maybe?
I
yeah,
liked both
yeah.
those Yahoo Serious movies.
You know, I have a special place in my heart for the Barbarian brothers.
Hmm.
The Barbarians, Twin Sitters, Double Trouble,
But when you
something with Santos Muscles was that was Hulk Hogan. There's another one though.
sorry, question when you say both Yahoo Serious movies because he made a few, but I assume you're talking Young Einstein and Reckless Kelly.
Young Einstein for sure, and I cannot for the life of me remember the second one, but there was one that came out from him here in the States shortly after Young Einstein that he was in that was also pretty good. And I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it.
It might have been Reckless Kelly, where he dressed up in basically a garbage can.
Again, they were movies of their time, and I have not gone back to revisit them. So
Yeah.
I just
'Cause
remember
if it-
liking them both.
If it's
Yeah.
not long after, it's probably Reckless Kelly because Young Einstein was 88 and Reckless Kelly was 93.
Yeah. And then he did the one with what's her nugget? How's that chick? Helen Dillamore. That was the second or the one that came at like the turn of the century.
Yeah,
Which was
Mr. Accent.
slapstick. Yeah, slapstick comedy, yeah.
Which, looking at that, I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
All right, well let's clear the air here on this one. Mel Gibson, who owns him?
Not
Is
the
he,
Jew.
is he American or is he an Aussie?
He's an American citizen.
Yeah, he's born in America, so technically he's an American, but we claim him because, he built his career off Australia, so,
Very true.
Do you guys still claim Nicole Kidman?
yeah, probably.
What about Keith Urban?
He's a
Again,
Kiwi.
probably, yeah.
No.
Well, yes, I think Russell Crowe's a Kiwi technically as well.
Oh, really?
I still don't know what accent he was going for in Thor: God and Thunder. Love and Thunder.
Flounced.
I don't know. I've not seen it. It looked stupid. I'm just like, yeah,
Oh my god,
I'm
it is
right.
one of the worst movies ever made. My coworker forced me to watch that like last week. It is god awful.
My
Yeah,
housemate has Disney Plus, so I'm like, oh, let's just watch the first couple of minutes. What's his name? Christian Bale coming into and talking to the gods. I'm looking at it going, what the hell are these special effects? This looks stupid. Like, this really looks cheap. What is going on here? I was like, nah, I'm done. No thanks.
Oh, Russell Crowe is a Kiwi, but he spent 10 years of his childhood in Australia.
And I hold you personally responsible for Taika Waititi, by the way.
Why? Why would we be responsible? He's New Zealand as well.
Oh, is he Kiwi as well?
Yeah, he did all his work. He really found fame in New Zealand doing New Zealand films.
He's
And he can make
overrated.
decent. He can make decent movies.
He can. He can be funny, but man, you just don't. He should never lead anything.
Oh, I like him as Korg. Yeah.
Yeah, Korg's a good character, but Ragnarok I think is a good movie. I enjoyed the hell out of Ragnarok, but the problem is that it was too successful and it went to his head, and then he farted out Love and Chunder. Oh, it is one of the worst things ever, and it's because he's all over.
Horrible.
I think it's the same problem as with Ryan Johnson and Last Jedi. Is they just going to let them do their own thing? And it's like, no, you got because that one was the same thing. Of ideally, it should be part of a larger story, and so I don't like studios interfering, massively. But it should be at least, look, this is the story you got to tell, and however you decide you want to tell it, go nuts. But you need to be hitting these story points.
Have you seen Ghostbusters?
Which one?
The first one. Ghostbusters, 1984.
Oh, yeah, the first one. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Have you seen a little gem called Nothing But Trouble?
The name rings a bell. I might have to look that up. Hang on. Oh, is that the one where is that the one that's really kind of grossed out and Dan Aykroyd looks like he's got a penis for a nose and stuff like that?
No. Yes,
no,
yes.
you're actually confusing Humpty Hump with the Dan Aykroyd character. They're both in that movie.
No, he does. He does. The judge does have a fucking dick for a nose for the entire lunch scene where they're eating around the. All right, so Dan Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters. And then Dan Aykroyd wrote, because Ghostbusters was so successful, they allowed him to write and direct Nothing But Trouble. And they did not rein him in at all. So if you have not seen Nothing But Trouble, watch Nothing But Trouble with the understanding there was no one there to rein Dan Aykroyd in. And it'll blow your mind on a completely different level than if you have seen that movie. First off, fuck you, Chevy Chase, for not bringing your all to that movie. That was arguably a fun movie. That he didn't bring enough energy to. There's scenes. So they're sitting around a lunch table. Okay, but this lunch table, right? It's big, so you can't just have ketchup and a mustard bottle, right? It's got to go across the whole room. Like everybody's got to have access to it. So there's going to be a train on the table, but it would take up too much room if there's a train on the table. So we're going to put it underneath the table, and then when it's needed, it's going to pop up through the table. And this scene's going to last 13 seconds. Like, what the fuck, man? Like calm down everywhere.
Yeah. See, something like that one I can look at and go, I don't mind as much because it's just an independent film. But when you're actually making something that's part of, a larger franchise, that's especially annoying because it's like you can't just make up your own story. It's still going to fit in with what's come before and what's going to come after.
Yeah, and he like, all right. So the goats, the screaming goats pulling the boat, are a part of Thor's mythology. Thor rides a chariot with two goats. And the Stormbreaker can travel the Bifrost to the Nine Realms because they were going to what was it Omnipotent Island or some shit? Omnipone? Omnipone? It was a stupid name for like fucking Mount Olympus and all the other things mooshed together. So it could form the Bifrost Bridge, but it couldn't just teleport you there. So you needed transportation. So that actually did make sense. It was actually a kind of clever, kind of stupid. Thor thought him and Bifrost were having issues, because he was like, "Oh, Mjolnir's back, meow meow." But it was the fact that they were going someplace that technically the Bifrost couldn't take them. So they thought they were having issues when really it was just it was a completely different issue after all.
And you said you didn't like thinking about the movies.
I enjoy getting lost in the little things that I want to. I don't want to have to solve your murder crime for you.
So I'm looking at this. It's just omnipotent city, which is stupid. It's like, yeah, omnipotence just means all powerful. So you're literally just going to a place called All Powerful City. How creative, guys! Well done.
Well, Darth Vader. Vader is like something like Dutch.
Dark Father.
Yeah, it means father in Dutch or whatever. So there's a whole bunch of people who were not surprised. I mean, Vader should have found out what his name meant. He was like, "Wait, what do you mean, father? Oh, my kids died. What happened to my wife?" So,
All right, up next is Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
it's a good movie. Visually,
the best.
beautiful.
It's the best Pirates movie, if you ask me.
No, Pirates is the best Pirates movie. Formative age, I watched that movie.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out. But out of the Pirates of the Caribbean,
FYI, Pirates is a porn movie.
oh,
that one. Yeah. Okay.
oh, I see.
I was not aware of it at the time, but I was like, holy shit! And then it kind of blew my mind in a couple of other ways. Like, holy shit, that is some production value for porn.
But in terms of that one, it's pretty simple. If I just find the movie to be a fun movie, so yeah.
Oh yeah,
Nothing really. And I didn't like the second and third one. I don't mind the fourth and fifth, and I think it's just because they're sort of just self-contained stories. But they started to try to get too up their own arse in terms of trying to be complex in terms of the stories they told and stuff like that. And it's like the first one, it's just pretty straightforward, really. It's a very basic story, and it's quite fun. And Johnny Depp was still a fun character at that stage before he just did it to death. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love a good whether it's like a Three Amigos, Three Musketeers, or a good sword fighting movie. Preferably not like a Kill Bill-esque, but like rapiers or cutlass.
Swashbuckling movie is what they are.
Well,
Both of those are swashbuckling movies.
Okay, I'll go with swashbuckler. I enjoy a good swashbuckler.
You can buckle some swash.
I could buckle some squash.
But yeah, sword fighting, especially that first sword fighting, and that was pretty good. So yeah,
I get freaking murdered. I would definitely go to my musket.
So actually, to clue into this movie, I actually met my wife's uncle who lives in Tennessee. He's a musician. He's friends with a bunch of Hollywood type. He's actually good friends with Johnny Depp, and he got to talking to him about that part. So apparently Jack Sparrow is based on Johnny Depp's interpretation of Keith Richards.
Well, yeah, that's what
everyone knows that. That's what.
Yeah, that's why.
Go ahead.
That's why Keith Richards was in the third one as his dad, because it was like he was basically doing a Keith Richards impression.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that would have
been a way better thing to have said before the third movie came out. I have this great story about pirates, but it was 10 times better before Captain Phillips happened. Because nobody knew about pirates, modern day pirates.
Yeah,
but now they're back in vogue apparently. Fucking Somalians.
But yeah, the fifth Pirates was it's all right. But they actually filmed a bunch of that here, not far from where I live. Actually, I probably could have, figured out where it was and gone down to the set. So,
are you in Gold Coast?
No, I'm in Brisbane, but Gold Coast is not that far a drive to get to. So,
gotcha.
That's pretty cool. Next
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Well, that's a token movie, isn't it? Come on, it's just a token.
Pretty much.
No, I mean, I love all Paul Hogan movies.
Pretty much, because I did want to try and do it. You know, I wouldn't do an Australian movie, but it's difficult because a lot of
Quigley Down Under.
These,
And that pick.
I love me some Quigley Down Under.
Oh yeah.
but a lot of Australian movies, it's a little bit hard because it's like, you know, what do you do for an Australian movie? Because you know, do you go? There's a movie like Two Hands. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's sort of a black comedy, crime drama sort of film. It's quite fun. It's an early Heath Ledger movie. Rose Byrne as well, actually. Something like The Castle I really like and is a kind of absolute favorite of Australia for comedy, but I feel like would Americans get it? I don't know if they, I don't know if they'd quite connect. The Castle was a really good one. I just said The Castle, not the Castle. What's the other one? The Dish. A movie called The Dish, but I didn't know whether it was really that accessible in America. There's a website I used where you can basically see where something streams. You can see all the different services it's available on, and that one just didn't really seem to be on anything. But that's an interesting one of Australia's involvement in basically, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but projecting the moon landing pictures to the world. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. But Australia had a hand in that. We've got a really big radio telescope that's actually in New South Wales, I think it is. It's out in the middle of a sheep paddock, and it's like it relayed the signal for the moon landing pictures. That was an interesting one. So yeah, there's a few good Australian movies, and it's just a matter of, well, that seems to be the one that everyone really kind of connected to and introduced Australia to a lot of Americans and stuff. And I did watch it recently, and admittedly it's not the best structured film. It's a little bit sloppy in the way it's structured, but it's got a lot of really good lines and stuff, and it's a really fun movie and stuff. So, it was a token pick. Yeah, you're right. So,
yeah. Well, I love Paul Hogan. I loved Lightning Jack.
Yeah, that's a fun movie, actually. Yeah.
There's Cuba Gooding Jr. is a mute, and he shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah, shoots himself and just starts screaming without screaming.
Yeah, just opposite. Yeah, also Beverly D'Angelo's in that movie too, Sean.
All right, I'm down.
Yeah.
I actually found that it's on YouTube. The full version of it's on YouTube. I don't know if it's legally on YouTube, but I found it recently. Happened to stumble across it. I'm like, oh my goodness, Lightning Jack.
It's got a great cast of character actors. It's got Pat Higgle, L.Q. Jones, Frank McRae. Oh, it's got Roger Daltrey, by the way. So,
who?
Throw that one in there. Roger Daltrey.
Who?
I fucking hate you.
Because
I repeated it.
I know someone's literally saying who, but I'm like had to think of like, hang on, from the Who.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know the Who too well, but I did hear that, and I'm like, I'm positive it's from the Who. But yeah.
When I said it the second time, I was like, son of a bitch. I did say it the second time. But he was in the Lost Boys too.
Roger Daltrey?
Yeah, he did the soundtrack.
Oh. Well, that would be why it's good.
Michael J. Fox, The Secret of My Success. He did the soundtrack for that as well.
That movie was the second movie that used, I think it used Oh Yeah by Yellow, and it used Hazy Shade of Winter by Bananarama.
Really? That's
Or Bangles. Yeah, Bangles.
Steven's going to chime in real quick about he was actually in Witchblade for a couple episodes.
Yeah, in terms of Crocodile Dundee, if I'm honest, I kind of prefer the second movie. I just think it's better structured. It spends a lot more time in the outback. Kind of shows how good Crocodile Dundee is at kind of knowing how to do stuff in the outback and stuff. I think I find the second one more fun, honestly.
Oh, well, I find the third one the most fun.
Okay, you shut your whore mouth. There's no way. There is no way you think the third one's anything but trash.
All right, you want to do the last one, the one that got picked?
Oh yeah, Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
Tropic Thunder.
I mean, like I said, it's kind of quite, not quite as much as some of the other movies I've talked about before, but the absurdist humor in it, I kind of enjoy. I don't know. I think it's by far the best Ben Stiller directed movie. Zoolander is probably my second favorite of his, but I don't know. I just find it fun. I think it. I enjoy how much it makes fun of like all the crap in Hollywood, stuff like that. There is the line. I didn't actually. I don't think I saw this in the cinema first time. I think I saw it on DVD. Because I remember very distinctly rewinding about 6 times when Ben Stiller's talking to Robert Downey Jr. as they're trying to escape from the camp, and he's going, I have a son, half squat, and Robert Downey Jr. is, who in crikey's fuck is half squat? And I don't know why that line just cracked me up. I had to rewatch it like 6 times. But really fun. I do enjoy the fact they just had so much stuff in it that you just. I think Dodgeball did this probably a little bit more, but they also had a lot of stuff in it that you just like. Even at the time, you're going, I'm surprised they got away with some of this stuff.
Well, I watched it in the theaters when it first ran, and I remember being in the theater, and they have the pre-roll movie commercials, and then they go into the trailers, and there was no break between the trailers and then the fake trailers at the beginning of Tropic Thunder.
No.
So for the first 2, we're like, there's no way this is real. Are they really making this movie? What? Where did this come from? This is out of nowhere. Before we clued in the theater, like, oh my God, this is fake. This is for the movie.
I don't remember those, but there was definitely some of that for Planet Terror and Death Proof, like the Machete movies.
Yeah.
What was your? How did you handle Matt's review of it? Did you think it was all right? Did you disagree with him?
I kind of, I'm not sure I necessarily agreed with very much of it. Actually, I might see if I can bring it up. I'm not sure if I agreed with very much of it. That he's not liking Tom Cruise. I'm like, come on, man, that was possibly the best part of the movie. It was just insane.
It's the best Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, I think it's his best performance, and it's like, he's not even really recognizable. I enjoyed the fact that he was willing to kind of go some of the ridiculous physical choices that they had of the really big hands and stuff, and
Have you seen Ben Stiller do his impersonation of Tom Cruise with Tom Cruise?
The from the MTV Movie Awards where he plays his stunt double.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Ben Stiller does a perfect Tom Cruise.
Does he? It's so awkward.
It is perfect.
Well, last week I watched Rich Little do Johnny Carson in front of Johnny Carson, and oh god, that was just so awkward to me. I'd be like Frank what's his nuts doing Madden in front of John Madden.
Frank Caliendo doing Madden in front of. Frank Caliendo has done Madden in front of.
I know he has, but just. So, did you? What'd you think of Robert Downey Jr.'s accent?
Yeah, he does a really good Australian accent. It wasn't as good, but he did a pretty decent one in Natural Born Killers as well.
So you know Pierce Brosnan with Mrs. Doubtfire. Your accent's a little muddled. What's your 10?
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of I kind of find it really interesting because you listen to Matt when he was talking about Tropic Thunder, and it seemed like he really wasn't crazy about it. So when I'm looking at the score and going, it's 4 out of 5, I'm like, how does that happen though?
Well, he gave it a 3.5, which rounds up to a 4. So,
But even 3.5, I'm like, man, I'm surprised it wasn't, maybe not a 2, because he did say that he liked a few different things and a few different parts of it.
the psychopath squad.
Yeah.
So everybody else's favorite movies got higher scores than mine. That's cool. That's nice.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay Fry.
Fucking Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, I think the only reason he gave Big Trouble in Little China the 4 is because in a text or in a Twitter thread, just I pre-rolled him on why it's the greatest movie ever.
So that's what you did to get that higher score. I see how it is.
That's what I should have done. I should have texted Ping too. In advance.
But when I looked at it and went, 4 out of 5, so I really liked it. I was reading his review and I'm like, he doesn't seem like he liked this all this much. This is weird. I don't get the score comparatively to what he said.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
The only thing I do agree with him is, and I like what Matthew McConaughey did in that movie, but those scenes were basically unnecessary for the movie.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that, but yeah, I think that was just filler.
Well, hold on. Let's see. How long was Tropic Thunder? Oh, it's an hour and 47 minutes. Yeah, okay.
So he didn't bitch about it being too long. I see what you're saying.
Have you seen Black Dynamite?
No.
Do that.
I'm aware of it, but not seen it. No.
It's one of our favorite movies to talk about. As far as it's a conscious blaxploitation movie, done very well, or done poorly very well. Sean, help me out here.
It's a parody of the genre, and it's true to the homage. Like some of the low production values that were inherent in the original blaxploitations are done intentionally in Black Dynamite.
But yeah, no, I am familiar with it. It's just not one I've not actually seen. Kind of along the same lines, Dolomite Is My Name on Netflix is apparently pretty decent. So,
well, unfortunately, Black Dynamite currently is not free anywhere.
Yeah, the only place I can see it's on is Apple TV for rental, which I do not have Apple TV. Oh no, it says it does it with ads, but it says it streams on something called Tubi.
Tubi? Yeah.
Tubi.
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 It's fine. It's fine. It can be a really good connection.
It only box office $300,000 on a $3 million budget.
Oof.
Yeah, that's damn disappointment.
That is. It's too good of a movie for. Well, I mean, it's kind of in that same boat as Big Trouble in Little China was. Big Trouble in Little China was a flop at the box office, but a cult classic.
You know what? I'm an idiot.
There's just some movies that you can't sell. You can't.
Can't market.
Market.
You know what? No, I take that back. I don't think Black Dynamite's available anywhere here in Australia. The one I was looking up was for the US, and it was in a whole bunch of places, but it's not showing up anywhere for here by the looks of it.
Well, I learned from a Barack Obama, I can't just send you a DVD.
Well, there's a simple fix for that. You get yourself a VPN and tell that company that you're in the USA.
Well, now, still got to spend $3.
Yeah.
There's it's so funny. There's scenes when they're doing something and the boom mic will hit an actor in the face, or it'll come on the screen and they'll look at it while delivering lines. One time the actors were too close in age, so in the flashback they listed their ages. Like 14
No,
on Black Dynamite. Listen to your older brother. I'm 23. It's just the writing was so perfectly done poorly. Like we got to get the drugs out of our community. But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in our community.
Be that as it may.
Oh, where is my money?
Yeah, I even love the description of this movie. This is the story of a 1970s African American action legend, Black Dynamite. The man killed his brother, jumped heroin into pumped.
The man.
The man. Oh, the man.
The
killed,
man.
As the man.
Sorry.
Which capitalized, I assume, is a character called the Man.
No. It's what black people refer to as the power structure is the man.
Well, I understand that, but it's capitalized. I'm like, well, I assume. Although, is it capitalized even when they're referring to the man as in like the system?
Yeah,
it means the
it's
system.
the royal we.
Yeah.
It's the system, the fighting expression. But technically, I think it was like literally Nixon killed his brother. I think it's how it ended
Well,
up
Nixon's
turning out.
CIA killed his brother, yes. Or had his brother killed or whatever.
Yeah. It's so well done. There's even times when like one of the guys can't kick high enough. He's too fat to do the kicks. But like he'll throw the kick and it'll go up like 2.5 feet, and the guy will still toss his gun away as if it was kicked out of his hand.
Yeah, it kind of sounds to me like, and I'm not saying they're the same sort of movie necessarily, but in terms of what they're trying to accomplish, it sounds very much like a Kung Pao into the fist.
Yeah, in a way, and there's a kung fu element to Black Dynamite too.
Yeah.
I think it kind
Kinda.
of reminds me of Undercover Brother a little bit, but not quite as.
Yeah, Undercover
Like-
Brother is also supposed to be a spoof on blaxploitation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get you sucker.
Yeah, that's another classic. I'm gonna get you, sucker. That's the original spoof on blaxploitation.
Yeah, it's not even a spoof, man. It had everybody.
Yeah.
It was old enough that it had everybody.
And its
Like,
sequel.
I'm
Don't Be a
I'm
Menace
Richard
to South
Roundtree.
Central by
No,
drinking
that's
your
not a
juice in the hood.
sequel. That's not a sequel. It just
It's,
happens.
it's the direct sequel to I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
It's like it's like, hi, I'm Richard Roundtree. I play Shaft. Today I will be playing Shaft. like that's not no, that's a. I don't think that technically counts.
Man, now the Wayans used to actually make pretty decent, pretty funny movies.
Yeah, but then they made White Chicks too. So
Well, it depends on what generation of Wayans brothers you're talking about.
yeah. All right. So if it's directed by Kean Ivory, I'll watch it. But if it's
Yeah.
written by Marlon and Sean, no. I love A Low Down Dirty Shame.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent kind of measure, I suppose.
And he wrote, directed, and starred in that fucking thing. All right, it's 11:30. We're well past due.
Mhm.
Did we cover all your picks?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the one with the list in front of me, so I think so.
I was
Yeah,
looking
we got
through
'em
this,
all.
I couldn't find it.
Eric?
It's not Weekend at Bernie's. What was the one before? The Truman Show. If you go to that one, that's where you found his list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good on you for getting picked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't really picked because I do work with Matt. I'm like, I'm going to take myself off the list because it seems unfair for me to kind of because I have access to the list. I know how big it is. And I'm like, yeah, it's already pretty low likelihood people are going to get picked. So I don't really want to be taking someone's spot. but I still want to be involved. Is the way we could do it. So Matt goes, well, how about I give you a kind of a fifth week on a month. I might have to ask him if I can do it again at some point, but but yeah, it was kind of, he basically just gave me in the same way that he did. He got a week, one fifth week on a month, and I think Blonde got one since the audience took over.
That'd be a nice token gesture for the mods. I mean, if he wants to spread that out, you get you another one, get me one, get Jay one, get Garrick one. You know?
Did you just choke on that? Did you really? I mean, come on. I'm the one that gave him the idea for the IMDb movie list. I'm the one that also gave him the idea for the fifth week of the month thing because I saw it coming. I was like, ooh, that's a problem.
Yeah. No, you could probably ask him, yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm too proud to ask him, unfortunately. But
in retrospect, maybe don't point out that I gave you the idea.
What?
I didn't even think about the fact that I probably shouldn't be mentioning that, but whatever.
Oh no, I don't care. But while we got you here, I do have a question. How big is the list now? Because the last time I asked him, it was like 15,000 people.
15,000? No, like 1,500 maybe.
Yeah, 1,500.
I wouldn't even compile that list.
I think it's still about that. Yeah.
Maybe I would move those emails to a folder when I ain't compiling a 1,500 person list. Good God.
Take all the ones I recognize. Oh, wait, I know these people. No, they're not getting it big. Fuck them.
Question for you, Dangerous Spaces. How is the selection done? Is it just a randomizer that you use to pull the name out of the hat, or what's going on there?
Yeah, just basically look at the spreadsheet, look at entry 2 up till however many people there are at the time. Go to Google Randomize, put in the number range, and just hit randomize, and whatever line number it gives you, you just go find that line, and
All right.
Just make sure the person hasn't spammed it with like 10 versions of their thing as well. Make sure that they're not trying to cheat the system. But
so I need to let you know to take off Raggle Fraggle 04, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Well, I assume they get deleted once they actually get picked. So
that would have been hilarious to just spam. Be like, oh, and our first entry was J Fry. Also our 10th entrance, 15th entrance, 32nd, 54th.
Well, I think it's pretty interesting as the audience has grown how the dynamic changed. Like for a while, it was Jay and me and Stan were like the only mods.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember those days.
And
poor Stan.
It's just kind of snowballed. There's a lot more. The chat's completely different than it used to be back in the day. On the plus side, the whole chat seems to have learned the no caps rule, and it's the only site I've ever seen that on.
That's my own personal rule. That's not an actual rule.
Right.
Well, we all enforced
because we all enforced it. It stuck, and the chat learned.
Yeah.
It is the politest chat out there with less than 3 emojis together, and
yeah.
I
was tired of fucking seeing, a whole sheet of just emojis. I'm like, no, fuck you. 3 or less. That's it. All you get.
My favorite is when they apologize.
I do feel slightly bad because occasionally I capitalize words just because, there's no other way really to emphasize a word that you're trying to emphasize. And I'm like, I wonder if people look at it and go, hey, how come he gets to do capitals?
Oh no, you get to do capitals. You can do whatever you want.
It's not words. It's when they do the whole thing. It's the caps lock thing, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It's the notice me senpai thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the occasion,
I think the turtle got started, wasn't it? Because everybody would type in that fucking line and just, oh no, not having that.
Yeah. Well, Matt originally started out reading the chat. And then it got to the point where he couldn't anymore, and then he read super chats. Then it got to the point where he couldn't anymore, and he had to start doing $5 super chats. And now it's 10. But once he was no longer reading the chats, it's like, hey, if you want it, super chat. Don't it's like the yelling is. But there are people who will write like half a, like they'll realize that they caps locked on accident because. They'll say something like, how about but bout will be all capitalized because instead of hitting the A, they hit the caps lock, and the whole rest of their sentence will be capitalized. They're like, sorry. Oh, yeah, you're fine. That's an accident. Like, this isn't actually serious. I'm not, like, I can tell that was an accident, but if you're just shouting in chat like a dick, we're not going to have that. But I chat on, I mod like 3 or 4 other people too. And just for funsies, every once in a while, I'll see somebody from one of the other groups and I'll be like, no caps lock. Whoops, sorry, wrong chat.
Well, we
Well,
have to. We do have to point out Sean's claim to fame when it comes to.
God, why does this always come up?
Did you see me the other day when I was like, Sean, please do not time out Sargon of Akkad?
How big would my legend grow if I did, though?
And that was the last time Sean was moderator of Neo
Anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Well, for Stranger Spaces, who probably didn't know because he wasn't around for that. The time that Matt and them had, was it the first time or the second?
The second time.
Second time.
Sticks was on. It was the lipsticks episode.
Yeah, so they had Hex and Hammer 666 on the second time, and he was in the chat. What did he do that
he capsed everything.
He capsed
Yeah.
it?
He capsed everything, yes.
Yeah. So he got timed out.
I don't remember that. I mean, I've been around since episode 0, so I've kind of seen all this stuff, but I don't remember that particular one.
Yeah, we were. I don't know. I don't even know if you were a mod at the time, but
I might not have been.
Yeah, but yeah, he was on for the second time, and he was in the chat prior to the interview, and I wasn't looking at usernames because I don't. I just look for caps. So if everything's
Well, no, there was
all
some. No,
caps-
there was it was a cringe thing, and everybody was capping. So you just happen to cap. I actually watch out for if a super chatter is the capper because it will remove their super chat.
Right.
And if they're better known or anything. But you just went down the fucking list.
YouTube added that thing where you could have the little verified chat.
Verified, yeah.
So Styx now has that. Sargon has that. Lily has it, depending on which account she's using. Who else? There's like 3 or 4 other people that have it.
Lauren has it.
Lauren has it, yeah. So they're easier to spot, so I don't do that. But yeah, that was literally me just not paying close enough attention, and I got my ass chewed for that.
Sorry, from who?
A little
From
bit
Matt?
of everybody.
Oh, okay.
Styx, Matt, Blonde, Jay, Garrett.
I did not. I jumped on that mine for you for a minute there until you came clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny thing is like there will be people who will get this is a couple years back now, but they'd be so butthurt about getting the 5-minute timeout that they'd send a $10 comment about how I'm a piece of shit. That's like, oh, no one wants $10 free. like that's like you're not threatening to leave, you're just calling me an asshole. Who are you hurting here? Like the $10 free? Well, what is it, like 6 or whatever? Or
Yeah.
7?
After
But,
they take the
I think it'd be 7 because I think YouTube's 30%. So.
30%. But I had one day there was like 6 different comments about how I was a Nazi, and I'm like, that's $100 right there in super chats. I don't think I'm going anywhere, guys. like you fucking jackass.
Well, and it's funny because it's just a time. The only people I ban are bots or people going after Blonde. That's happened several times where people going after Blonde directly, anybody bringing up Matt's brother in a negative way.
Oh yeah,
and the bots. Those are the only ones I actually use the ban hammer on. Everybody else just gets timed out.
Hang on, how often have people brought up Matt's brother? I don't know if I've ever seen that, or maybe I've just not noticed it.
They launched a full-scale assault on Matt one night. because
okay.
of the story about his brother. And holy, just the worst goddamn people I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
I banned a series of flat earthers for funsies,
Yeah, I remember that one too.
but
I banned I think I've only ever banned one person, and it was because they were spelling out the N word, and I'm like, and Matt contacts me and goes, "Did you ban someone?" Because I presumably they went and complained to him. I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then I kind of realized later, I'm like, oh, hang on, no, there was one guy that was starting to spell it, and he's like, yeah, I don't really care. Don't bother banning them again. Okay, fair enough. So,
Yeah.
oh,
no,
he probably
it-
put a bit of time
yeah,
out then if you're.
it was people. I don't remember what they were saying about Blonde, but they were like just basically horny dudes trying to go after Blonde for whatever reason. The only one that can get away with that is Jay himself. So, and he's
She's
usually-
the only person who's ever given me an actual death threat on the internet. And they're pretty testicular heavy death threats, by the way. So
Yeah.
right. So yeah, I go after them, and then yeah, just the trash that was saying just really terrible things about Wade. That was just disgusting, and they just deserve to be nuked from orbit.
yeah, that shit's nuts. Blonde came into the chat one day when I first started. My years and years ago when I first started, and she would just put in chat Jay Fry has a little dick, and she came back the next week. I left her a comment about I can't yell at you for saying that, or they'll say my temper's as short as my penis. So she comes back next week and she says it again, and I said, Blonde, you're always complaining about the size, but you never complain about the taste. And my Twitter starts blowing up in a DM, and she is threatening the shit out of my balls. I'm like, holy, like, oh, that's a bad one. like some of those are like, oh god, I don't feel comfortable sitting down anymore. She left me so many fucking threats. One time we got in a fight, and she's like, "You fat piece of shit! I hope you choke on an entire pizza." Like, good God, woman.
And yet, every time your name comes up now, her only comment is, "Oh, I miss Jay Fry."
I don't. Yeah, well, I'll see her in January. The I don't.
Is she going? I thought she wasn't going.
If she's not, I'll have Ping Skype her. I'll just harass her.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Those are my options, and I'll take either one I got. Yeah, she's very testicular heavy on the death threats, so it's the only way we got. It's my claim to fame, apparently. I just don't get why people. Oh, what happened to Kevin Flanagan? Well, first off, Kevin Flanagan ripped off my shtick, so that originally pisses me off. I was the original questioning of Z Jews in Beauty and the Beta. What did that guy call it, Sean?
Which one?
Blonde and the Beast?
Oh, well, it was Blonde in the Belly of the Beast.
No, he said the Bat and Blonde show, but I preferred the original name,
Beauty and the
Blonde
Beta.
and the Beast. No, I corrected him into Beauty and the Beta.
Oh, yeah, he must have said Blonde and the Beast or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, no, you got that backwards. It was Beauty in the Beta. But yeah, it's been a long time now.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Good God. I remember forming our first hashtag chain for the Trump's first debate. We're hopping all over the Twitter to leave those comments. Good times, good times. And I might be getting that. I sent in my appeal, and it got received and told me within 10 days. So we'll be finding out.
You at least got a response. I still have yet to receive a response.
Yeah, from the original email that was connected to it?
I'll have to double check because I had
Yeah.
3 accounts that got banned, and I might have been on the secondary, not the actual original. So I got to go back and look at the actual original.
Well, if I get Jay Fry back, I'll have Matt, Lauren, Terry Shappert, Blair White, and about 5 or 6 other. No, she. No, actually, I think I'm blocked by she, thankfully. But about 5 or 6 other accounts follow me that I was bummed to lose.
I think I actually had Sargon following me on my original account. So now that he's back, if I can get that account back, I could DM Sargon, which would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty awesome, actually. Wait, Jay, which one was the one that was it? Wait, no. Who was it that followed you? Was it Dean Kane that was following you, or was it James Wood?
No, neither.
James Wood
Neither.
blocked you, didn't he? James
Wood, blocked me.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
It's I wasn't paying attention. I called him a silver fox, but he tipped. He was in a celebrity poker tournament and he tipped the dealer $1,000, and I'm like, you just took $1,000 from your, because they played for $25,000 to be donated to the charity of choice. But what I didn't see was the matching James Wood donation was for $26,000. So the charity got $24,000 from the tournament, and James Wood matched it with $26,000. I was like, oh well, fucking ass. Fine, whatever. But he blocked me. I was like, son of a bitch.
Well, we should let Mr. Spaces get started with his day.
Yeah.
Sorry, we mean started. It's nearly 3 o'clock here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's go on at midnight here.
Yeah. I'm going to have to turn in a hot minute. I got work in the morning. So it was a pleasure having you, Dangerous Spaces. Refer to Jay, but I'm sure you're welcome back anytime. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Good night, guys.
Wow,
Wait, I didn't.
He just straight jumped out. That's weird. That's not normal for him.
I didn't invite Dangerous Spaces.
All the wife.
Oh. There's like a 6-month dating period between Garrick and his now wife, but he didn't have a single picture where he wasn't holding her. So we had a running joke about just letting her go. Let the poor girl go. Let her escape. All right, let's get out of here. We can go into the off hours chat.
Good to see you, Dangerous Spaces. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
You can feel free to hang out if you want. We're just going into off hour, the after show where it's not live.
Now you know what?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Good
well,
night, everybody.
I haven't actually had lunch yet, so I probably should go. Grab some food.
Take care.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation.